I don't know if you ever have this experience because you keep your hair shorter, but I went and got a haircut yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And it always looks like they've just done grooming on a dog when I leave there and I look at the floor back behind me. There's just always so much hair there. And I've noticed, I went through this like a year ago when I started noticing more and more hair in the shower after I would shower. And, it's like, there's a lot falling out there. I don't know what's happening. And then it stopped for a while. It started back up again. So I think I'm going full-blown bald.
Interesting. It doesn't look like it.
It does seem a lot thinner to me.
My hair's definitely thinner. And I ask my barber every time, any bald spot back there that I can't see? Mm-hmm. She always says, no, still hanging in there.
Yeah, I always ask, too. I know we're not supposed to care about such things.
Right.
I mean, appearances don't matter in this world.
Right.
We've definitely outlawed that, but still, you kind of want to hang on to it. Although, if I do start going bald, I'm going full bald. I want that awesome look to where I can play a heavy in a movie.
Yes.
That Bob Sturm look.
Yes.
Be so great.
Obviously.
Definitely the way to go. It's interesting that for so many years...
Why didn't we ever think of that before?
I don't know. Men went with the comb over.
Yeah, the comb over or just that monk ring of hair.
Yeah.
Bald on top. Why not just shave the whole thing off?
That's a good question.
We had clippers. Why didn't we ever think of it?
When you have the ring of hair,
yeah,
it just accentuates the baldness.
I know it. Yes. Makes it look stranger. Okay, so this is something that I'm obsessed with. Junes, if I may, if you'll allow me.
Sure.
So you have not finished watching Righteous Gemstones.
We are 3 episodes in, and I am loving it. I love Uncle Baby Billy so much.
Mm-hmm. Come on now. You need to pay that man now. God, my granddad talked like that so much. Put now on the end of everything. It's a Southern thing.
Mm-hmm.
That Walter Goggins is such a great... He's from Georgia, I think, so that's why his accent is so authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Danny McBride. He's from the South.
Yep.
And Edie Patterson, who plays Judy Gemstone, is from here in Texas.
She's amazing.
She's fantastic. But at the end, there's a song that they play in the final episode.
Don't spoil it for me.
Well, I am going to spoil it for you because it doesn't matter. I mean,
okay.
The song is not like a pivotal plot point or anything.
It doesn't give away what's just happened in the season?
No. And I missed this when it came out, but apparently this song came out 15 years ago or so. Maybe even longer than that. This may be 20 years ago. This tune came out. And you'll recognize the artist singing it, and you'll recognize the song. She's covering a song. But I think this is just fantastic. This is her doing it live on Austin City Limits.
Give me a word, give me a sign. Show me where to look and tell me what will I find. What will I find?
Dolly?
Yeah.
Lay me on the ground, fly me in the sky. Show me where to look and tell me what will I find. What will I find? Yeah. Oh, heaven let your light shine down. Oh, heaven let your light shine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is her doing Collective Soul's Shine, which was a huge hit in the 90s. I think it ranked like number 20 on the list of the greatest songs of the 90s.
Great song.
Teach me where to go and tell me will love be there. Will love be there.
So, not only did I miss it, but she won a Grammy, I think, for this song.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Heaven let your light shine.
Somehow it was completely beyond me at the time to listen to music. And there's an awesome break in this where her band is jamming out on the fiddle and all that. And I gotta confess, I don't know that I loved this song when it came out in the 90s. Because I was always so disturbed by the...
I remember liking it a lot. I almost like this version better.
I like this better, too.
Oh, give me a word, give me a sign. Show me where to look and tell me what will I find. What will I find? Lord, teach me how to
You think she has a very identifiable voice?
Yes.
She may be one of the most, maybe the most beloved person in music right now.
Yeah.
Like Dolly has entered into that rarefied air of being a national treasure.
Yep.
And young people love her. Young girls love her.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, this is the song at the end of Righteous Gemstones. And it's perfect for the scene, and it's just great. So, Dolly Parton's Shine. I'm just getting on the Shine train about 20 years too late of her doing that.
I love that. So
Yeah.
she sings it in the final episode, or they sing it?
She sings it.
She appears.
It's this,
Wow, okay.
No, she's not in it. It's just a song, isn't it?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, for the final scene. And I was listening to it going, God, this is Dolly singing this. I didn't know she covered this. Oh, man, this is great. This is a new thing that's just coming out. It's so great that the Gemstones were able to get her to do this. And no, it was recorded 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so that happened. P1 Nick asked the question, says, what happened, scattershooting, whatever happened to red pistachios? These were a staple of my youth in the 70s. My parents would put out a bowl of pistachios for guests, and they were 100% always colored red. So you know pistachios? You ever do that?
They're green.
But the dyed red pistachios, I remember those being everywhere too.
Boy, I don't remember
And
that at
people
all.
would just put them out for guests, and you would eat them, and then everybody's fingers were red, and it's like, why do we even dye them?
Right.
I don't know.
I have no memory of that.
Well, I do. I remember on a show called Police Squad, which was made by the same people who did Airplane and the Police Squad movies.
Great show. Only had
Or
like
Naked Gun movies.
6-episode run.
Yes, and all 6 episodes were awesome.
Yes.
They were
I loved
so
it.
funny. And I still would use lines from them. I saw them when I was a kid, but I would use lines from those Police Squad episodes. I remember one I used when I was interviewing Will Arnett, and he was talking about concepts of God or something. There was a gag in the Police Squad where if you ever needed information, you would go to Johnny the shoe shine guy. And while he was shining your shoes, you'd ask him, hey, what have you heard about the murders over on the east side or something like that. But there was one time where Leslie Nielsen asked him, hey, what do you know about God? And Johnny says, I don't know anything about it. Hand him a 20. Are you talking anthropomorphic deity or existential being? Which concept of God you thinking of? Anyway, so I used that line of anthropomorphic deity or existential being with Will Arnett one time. But yeah, that was such a great series. I loved it. Tell you another thing I got from Naked Gun that exists in Ticketdom is that I remember one time there was a fight in an episode and like a boxing match, and a guy got hit and knocked out. And the referee goes over to him and says, how many fingers am I holding up? And the guy answered Thursday.
I remember that.
And I've always used that line whenever, as a placeholder answer, I always say Thursday.
Cracked me up as a kid.
Yeah, it's great. Why are we talking about Naked Gun and Police Squad? You know, they changed the character of Nordberg from the series to the movies, and you know who played Nordberg in the movies? O.J. Simpson.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Hey, Twitter world.
Yes. Hey,
forgot
Twitter
that.
world himself, OJ.
Oh, dear.
But Leslie Nielsen continued his. Now, I wonder if George likes those movies. Because that's all airplane humor. He doesn't like the movie Airplane, but the Naked Gun movies were funny.
Probably does not, would be my guess.
There's a scene in the Police Squad series. This is why I was bringing it up. When they're eating pistachios on a stakeout. And they're sitting in the car. And it's so gross. They're just hammering down these red pistachios, and their fingers are all red, and it's just nasty. But they also were well aware that pistachios were a big deal to a lot that goes on back
So,
then.
according to P1 Nick, we haven't seen red pistachios in 20 years,
They
30
gotta
years?
still sell them, but it's just not a thing anymore. It's not like every house has the pistachios set out for guests. Do people even have guests anymore? When I was a kid, it seemed like we were always visiting people.
That's why you had to have a formal living room.
Yeah. Yeah, out in the formal living room. And that was somehow you kept that part clean and the rest of the house would be a disaster. Speaking of houses, would you ever like to live in a home that had a celebrity connection? Like it was famous, like the Brady Bunch house?
No. Not that
There's
famous.
The Breaking Bad house?
No. Not that famous because you'd have a never-ending parade of people driving by, taking pictures, maybe even walking around your property. No way.
But doesn't it always guarantee your house is going to hold value?
You can find other homes that will hold value that aren't going to have people around you all the time.
Or does it net out to where it does not add? It adds value, but it also subtracts value, too, from a huge percentage of buyers because they don't want that headache.
Right.
So,
I was one of those. I drove by the Breaking Bad house once.
I know. And I've driven by the Brady Bunch house. I've driven by... It was a house that I only went by because Sharon Tate used to live there.
God. And you went by the OJ house.
I went by there because I had heard a Bronco had been parked out of there, and I like looking at cars. It was gone by the time I got there many years later. But yes, would you own... It's different, I think, if owning a house that something bad happened at, like the Tate house or OJ's ex-wife's condo.
Which, if you sell your house, don't you have to put in a disclosure if there was a death there or a crime there?
Varies from state to state, but if there was a violent death there, I think that you have to disclose it here in Texas. But if someone died of natural causes or took their own life in that house... Yeah, I don't think you have to disclose it.
Okay.
Which, isn't that creepy?
Yeah.
If someone was hanging from the foyer light.
Right.
But you're not aware of it, and that ghost is still walking around there, floating around there.
Scaring people.
Yeah. Moaning at night in non-suggestive ways.
You could hear him dragging his chains down the hallway.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Why did ghosts always have chains back in the day?
I just got that from A Christmas Carol.
Do you remember what forged the chains of Jacob Marley?
His greed?
Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. This fact must be clearly understood. It was, I think it was all the bad deeds that he had done added another link to the chain.
Yes.
And that's why he had to drag them through eternity, the heavy chains of all his bad deeds, which is a great bit of post-life conceptual penance.
Still by far my favorite Christmas movie. All the versions.
All the versions.
I like the second oldest. The oldest is like 20 minutes long, and you can barely see it.
It's a silent film.
Yeah, basically. But the second oldest, starring Reginald Owen, maybe, is great.
How can you like that? It's in black and white.
I know. It's just awesome. The
How
George
do people
C.
live
Scott
in black
version,
and white? Why do we all of a sudden... Don't you think it's weird that humans started seeing in color so late in our evolution?
Yes. We didn't see in color until the mid-'60s.
My favorite's George C. Scott.
That's a great one.
Vote. That's my vote. All right.
Okay, thanks. That's the ODEC 6:30. Wait, by the way, why'd you bring up the celebrity house thing?
I'm not going to tell you.
Is there one on the market?
Not going to tell you.
Please pay off on that.
Because, yes, there were a few that were on the market. One was the house that Taylor Swift lived in on Cornelia Street. She had a song called Cornelia Street.
Like as a kid?
No. This was in Manhattan's West Village.
Oh,
and she
okay.
lived there for a while. She just rented it. She didn't even own it. But she made a song about it because it's T-Swift.
Okay.
It's attracting all this attention. There's also the house that Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City lived in on Perry Street. That one, I think, went up for sale recently. And then it gets to talking about the Breaking Bad house and then all the hell that owner, because that owner at first said okay to it and let it be in the series, and then now regrets it every day of their life and has put up a huge fence. I think they put up signs because people are taking pictures, so they'll put up an aborted fetus sign or something to try to make people not want to take pictures.
I know people were throwing
made that part up, but
people were throwing pizzas on the roof.
Yes, throwing pizzas on the roof of the garage to recreate it.
I'd stay away from all those.
The show. Yeah. All right.
All right. Thanks. That's the Odexic.
U.S. inflation rate is on the downslide. It peaked in June of 2022 at 9%. But it went to a 2-year low of 3%. Yet prices are still high overall, and we found out that Plano has one of the highest inflation rates in the country. The financial website, which is funnily named Smart Asset,
Plano,
put Plano, the Collin County city, at number 1
for the
biggest increase in the cost of living. I don't know. Why would the cost of living in Plano go up more than any other big city that's around Plano?
I have no idea.
Between the first quarter of 2022 and the first quarter of 2023, cost of living in Plano rose 9.5% relative to the national average, which is more than any other area in the country. Prices in Plano are 21.8% higher than the national average. It's the 22nd most expensive place in their study.
But I thought we were famous for our low cost of living in Texas.
Yeah, I know. What happened to that? Let's get back to that. Let's pass that low cost of living legislation that's important to everyone.
Let's start a GoFundMe for Plano.
Yes. We need all the cities to gather together. Well, Plano is. Do you know anybody that lives in Plano?
Oh, I'm sure I do.
You know what's weird?
Yes, I do.
It seems like to me now. I used to know a lot of people that lived in Plano, and now it seems like I know no one in Plano, and everyone lives in Frisco or even further afield.
Yeah, I know a few people actually.
Okay. Rounding out the top 5 of cost of living increases in the country, Kalamazoo, Michigan, the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wow.
That's where The Outsiders was filmed.
That's where Wayman Tisdale's from.
Terre Haute, Indiana. What language is Terre Haute?
Terre Haute. French? Sounds like
T-E-R-R-E. Yeah.
H-A-U-T-E.
H-A-U-T-E. So, yeah, I guess. No other Texas city made the top 10. Waco tied with Findlay, Ohio for 15th on the list, and Dallas was listed as 61st on the list of cities with the highest cost of living increase.
You know what I think of when I hear Terre Haute? You remember the old Steve Martin bit?
What?
Where he was doing an interview and he claimed that the most boring place in America was Terre Haute, Indiana.
Yeah, I know.
So Terre Haute had him out there, and they had a big downtown celebration. They brought Steve Martin up on stage, and they showed him the town, how great a town it was, that it wasn't a boring town. And he got up on stage and he said, I just want to thank you for this day. It's been wonderful. You've opened my eyes to how wonderful Terre Haute is. It's not the most boring place in America. I should have said Abilene. So that started a whole thing with Abilene.
Funny guy. Still funny?
Oh, my God, yes.
I went on a kick a few days ago of watching all the old Saturday Night Live Five Timers Club sketches where they have that super exclusive club that Steve Martin is always hanging out in it on SNL for anyone who's hosted the show 5 times. And Paul Simon's in every one of the sketches, too, because he did it. And he was funny in that.
Yep.
Really funny.
Only Murders in the Building is really good. And once a year, they will showcase his phenomenal physical humor. You know, like in All of Me, where he was one side of his body was controlled by her, and he controlled and his physical humor. He should have won an Oscar for that in that movie. But in Only Murders, they'll showcase his physical humor, where he had
that season-ending episode when he was drugged.
Yes,
he was hilarious in that.
Yeah, he's still great.
Yeah, he is kind of a comedy icon. To be funny for that long, because comedy is something that it's very it's like fashion. You know, it's hard for a comedian's type of humor to survive different cultural ages.
Yes.
And Steve has somehow been able to piece together a career that he has remained funny.
I told you all that we went to the Steve Martin Short show out in Grand Prairie 6 months ago, and it was 90 minutes of nonstop laughs. They were great. They've still got it.
Yeah, there was a funny joke that was in one of those sketches because Steve was standing there with whoever was entering the Five Timers Club, like Paul Rudd or somebody, and then no, it was Alec Baldwin. It was when Alec Baldwin was there, and Martin Short comes up dressed as a waiter and serves them drinks. And, of course, everybody laughs because Martin Short is just a waiter in the Five Timers Club. He's not actually in the club. And he serves them drinks and everything, and then he walks off, and Steve just looks at Alec and goes, sad. It's just sad, isn't it? Just a one-word joke. Sad. No, it's 3 words. Sad, isn't it?
So sad.
Martin's just not doing well, which is made the more funny when you realize what good friends they are.
Right.
An SMU soccer player has turned $1,700 of a poker buy-in into $275,000 in winnings. Harvey Castro played soccer at SMU. He turned 18, and he started gambling for real. He said he just used to do it at home, but he really loved playing poker. And then last week, he's now 21, he won $275,660 at the World Series of Poker at Choctaw.
Wow.
Beat out 1,000 other players in the tournament. And I saw on the Soch, that's short for social medias, that our good P1 Mexican Jr. apparently is way into poker. I think he was out there winning, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had a family member who got way into poker and I think won a couple of bracelets. I don't even know what that means, but apparently in poker, if you win some of these bracelets, and he may have even won the World Series of Poker at one time. That seems so strange to me. These people that just get into poker later in life even, and they get really good at it. I suck at it.
I know, I do too.
I've never had the patience to learn it well.
Have you ever gone to a poker party? Like, I had a friend way back in the day that would host a poker party twice a year at his house. And I would go, and there'd be 8 guys, and it was a blast. I didn't really know what I was doing, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, if I understood it. I remember playing with my buddies Adam and Tim and Eric one time, and I was lost. You know, I just have 2 strategies. One is bluffing, and the other one is more bluffing.
And eventually they catch on.
Yeah, they clean me out, you know. I'm no good at it. So that's why I don't enjoy it. If I was good at gambling, maybe I would get the gambling bug like Phil has, which we're going to talk about at 8:15 today. Mm-hmm. And Phil, oh my Lord.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's at what point is gambling not enjoyable and it's a sickness? Only when you're losing?
I think for those guys, it is both. I think it's a sickness that they enjoy.
Yeah, I guess most vices are.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the one that scares me the most because the recidivism on gambling is like through the roof.
Yeah.
Guys who got the gambling bug, they can't stop.
I don't have that gene. The one time I've been to Vegas.
Guys.
One time I've been to Vegas, or the few poker parties I've been to, I gamble with scared money.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because I don't want to lose it.
Wasn't Dale a big gambler?
Yeah,
Seems like
so.
every time they're raiding a poker house in Dallas, Dale's having to run out the back door. Johnny Hardwick has passed away. Voice actor and comedian best known as the voice of Dale Gribble on King of the Hill. Anybody on the crew here frequent viewer of King of the Hill. Did you watch that when it was on?
Absolutely. I've been going back through it actually fairly recently. So genius.
Holds up?
Oh, yeah. It's a lot like, coincidentally, like Idiocracy, where it definitely applies to a lot of stuff going on today.
How is it that Mike Judge, who's a guy who in some ways is not even an entertainer or a movie or a Hollywood guy, had so many hits?
I know.
Mike Judge, who did Idiocracy, the movie, he did Office Space, the movie, which is another great movie, cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
And then TV show-wise, he did Beavis and Butthead, which was a huge cultural hit in the 90s. And then he also did King of the Hill, and he did Silicon Valley.
Wow.
Yeah. He's had all of those hits. And meanwhile, he's just a local bass player who liked to draw cartoons. And he's pieced together that career.
Boy, and he's really got his finger on the pulse of society.
I know.
Because all of those really strike a chord.
Yes, he zeroes in on the culture, some microculture within our broader culture, and he just nails it. It's so fantastic. Anyway, Johnny Hardwick, who I guess knew Mike Judge, because Johnny Hardwick, I think, was from Texas as well. But King of the Hill, this is interesting, was created by Mike Judge, and it's about Hank Hill and his friends who are from the fictional town of Arlen, Texas. And do you know what that is based on?
No.
Mike Judge told the New York Times in 2009 that the setting was inspired by the Dallas suburb of Richardson, Texas, where he once lived.
Really?
Richardson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
King of the Hill is based on his time in Richardson.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
And a lot of your humor is based on your time in Richardson.
That's exactly right. So Mike Judge and I are kind of equals in a way. Johnny Hardwick was 64 years of age. Police were called for a welfare check, and they found him dead in his Austin home on Tuesday. Medical examiner's office will determine a cause of death, but police say they're not investigating it as a homicide. But Hardwick was a beloved member of the King of the Hill family. He voiced Gribble, who was the chain-smoking bounty hunter who wore the Mack truck cap, and the aviator glasses. He was in over 250 episodes of King of the Hill, which from 1997 until it ended in 2010. So very sad to see that. And they were just starting a reboot of it on Hulu, and he had voiced a few episodes for that, but they weren't finished yet. So I don't know who they're going to get to take over that character.
Condolences, DJ.
Thank you.
Yeah, he went to Tech. Kevin Hardwick did. Johnny Hardwick. Went to Texas Tech in Lubbock, had a degree in journalism, started doing stand-up comedy here in Dallas and in Austin, and then he continued his comedy career out at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles, and that's where the King of the Hill co-creator Greg Daniels spotted him, gave him a writing job, and then he was on the show. Johnny Hardwick passing away at the age of 64. Texas is going to have its tax-free weekend. Started this morning, I guess, at 12:01 a.m. So today and tomorrow, you can shop for clothing for your school kids, shoes, backpacks, school supplies, all that's tax-free here in Texas. Online shopping is included, so you don't just have to buy IRL. You can buy online. Dallas-Fort Worth residents plan to spend an average of $707 per child.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So take advantage of this. Getting an almost 8.25% tax break.
Mm-hmm.
What's the sales tax?
I think that's right.
Somewhere in there.
Do businesses just mark up everything by 8%, though?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So much of sales is just psychological fakery.
Our tax is 6.25%. Our sales tax.
Yeah, but there's added on stuff that brings it up to 8.25%, right?
That's according to Texas.gov. I guess it depends on your city.
Yeah, because you have local taxes.
Yeah, like
in addition to
Arlington. Arlington is higher than a lot of places because they're paying for stadiums out there.
I think I always fall victim to the technique where they psychologically anchor you to a price and then give you percentage off that price. So if I see that something is normally $1,000 and we've marked it down to $250,
mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I don't need it, but man, I ought to buy it while the getting's good.
Right.
And then, of course, you realize now they always sell it at that price. Everyone thinks they're immune to the psychological tactics of consumerism, but we aren't. All right, what's the deal with feet?
Feet?
Now, Craig, you are known for having beautiful male feet.
It's the only physical gift that God gave me, a beautiful pair of feet.
It still remains one of the most awkward moments ever in my broadcast career. The day when you brazenly claimed, I have beautiful feet. And I was making fun of you going, oh, no, everybody's feet's gross. It's so sick, gross. You know, no, I'll show you. And you took off your shoes and socks and you put them up on the table. And at that moment, I questioned everything in my life that had happened up to that moment. Because I was like, I'll be darned. He does have really good-looking feet. I went home and sat on the couch and stared into the middle distance with the TV off for like 3 hours after that show. I just didn't know who I was anymore.
Like with me and Billy Gilman.
Yes, yeah.
I posted a picture, I think, from training camp, and I was wearing tennis shoes, and some P1 responded, it's a crime that you keep those things covered up.
This guy is crazy.
26-year-old Mark Anthony Gonzalez from Atwater, California, allegedly broke into condos last month, positioned himself at the foot of victims' beds, and fondled their feet while they were asleep.
What a weirdo.
He fled the scene when one woman woke up and confronted him. The investigative agency said they were able to identify Gonzalez via forensic techniques. Generic, not giving us specifics there. He was arrested at his residence, charges of burglary and battery. He's the suspect in numerous crimes in the Merced, California area, Merced County. Those crimes include theft of women's shoes,
weirdo,
trespassing, and sexual self-gratification. And investigators say his crimes seem to be escalating in nature. That's a guy that got so fixated on feet.
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.
I don't understand.
I think that's Rex Ryan.
Oh,
it is.
You got pretty nice feet there. Maybe
wow,
we should
what a
all
weirdo.
rewatch the Rex Ryan video.
I can't imagine much creepier than being woken up in the middle of the night by a stranger at the foot of your bed fondling your feet.
I know it. You have to be so freaked out and scared. So creepy.
All right,
seriously,
birthdays?
how do you ever go to sleep again after something like that happens? You have to check the doors and locks about 3 times before you go to bed every night.
10 deadbolts on your bedroom door.
Singer Eric Carmen is 74. Wrestler and actor Hulk Hogan is 70.
Tickets own.
Sat in this very studio.
Yep.
Sat on his phone most of the time, and that was right after a video had gone viral of him rubbing down his daughter.
Yeah.
With suntan oil.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't think any of us had the guts to ask him about it. But. Singer Joe Jackson, 69. Lawyers in Love.
I love Joe Jackson.
Viola Davis is 58.
Greatness.
The actor. Joe Rogan turns 56 today.
We just saw him. He was broadcasting that MMA fight.
Yeah, I know.
Training camp when we were out with the boys.
We looked up his net worth.
Yeah, what was it?
Oh, it was like 200 million, something crazy.
$1 bajillion.
And it's pretty interesting that he goes from being a stand-up comedian to having, the acting gig on news radio.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was one of the earliest podcasters, I remember, and made a lot of money. Anna Gunn from Breaking Bad, 55. An actress who was wronged because people hated her character, and then they started hating on Anna Gunn, who did very well with that character, and that character was redeemed, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone hating on her for being against what Walter was doing when you should have been against what Walter was doing.
Skyler.
Guitarist Charlie Sexton is 55. Had an awesome song, the song Impressed by Charlie Sexton, which came out when he was like 16 years old. Great song. Chris Hemsworth from the Avengers is 40. And in sports birthdays, nobody.
Shocking.
Not a single sports birthday.
All right, Gordo, thanks. That's Muse, 7:36 on the ticket in 4 minutes. Friday morning Scattershooting.
And now it's time for Friday morning Scattershooting with your old pal, Junior Miller, right here on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310, The Ticket.
Scattershooting while wondering whatever happened to Otis Nixon.
He was the Ranger that looked like he was about 30 years older than he actually was.
Yep.
He had old man face.
They called him Old Man Otis.
Uh-huh. It was so weird.
Most stolen bases for any player not in the Hall of Fame.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What a fun little note that is. I had so
Yeah.
much fun just then.
Actually, it's either that or most stolen bases for any player who was never an all-star. It's one of those two.
Oh, okay.
That's not as fun.
Yeah. My fun level dropped off.
At the Pro Football Hall of Fame ceremony last week, we were a bit surprised to learn that Zach Thomas was the first Texas Tech Red Raider to be enshrined. But upon further review, no school in these parts has a ton of players in the Hall. For example, SMU leads the region with 4: Eric Dickerson, Raymond Berry, Forrest Gregg, and Doak Walker. Texas has 3: Bobby Dillon, Earl Campbell, and Bobby Lane. So does TCU with Bob Lilly, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Sammy Baugh. OU has just 2: Tommy McDonald and Leroy Selman, as does OSU with Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas. Baylor, North Texas, and Texas A&M each just have 1: Mike Singletary, Mean Joe Green, and Yale Larry. Houston has none. The schools with the most, USC and Notre Dame with 14 each. One of the Cleveland Browns beat writers had an interesting note about the great tackle Joe Thomas, one of last weekend's enshrinees. Of the 371 men in the Hall, Thomas played on teams with the worst winning percentage. His Browns teams were 48 and 119 in the games he played, a winning percentage of .287. He didn't win many games, but he got into the Hall of Fame. A new North American record has been set for the longest home losing streak in professional sports. The Edmonton Elks of the Canadian Football League lost their 21st straight game at Commonwealth Stadium when the BC Lions came to town and beat them 27-0 this week. Going into that game, the Elks were tied with the old St. Louis Browns of the American League. They lost 20 games in a row during the 1953 baseball season. You might be surprised to know that third on that list, the 93 Dallas Mavericks, who lost 19 straight at Reunion Arena. And tied for fourth on that list are the 88-89 Dallas Cowboys, who lost 14 straight at Texas Stadium over those 2 seasons. If you'd like to bet this week, how about wagering on which NFL team will be the most improved? The favorite, the Bears, who after going 3-14 last season have a lot of room to get better. Denver, under new coach Sean Payton, is next, followed by the Texans, Colts, and Saints. Scandalized football coach Art Briles apparently has a new gig. The International Football Alliance announced this week that Briles will be the head coach of the newly established Dallas Pioneers franchise that is relocating from Mexico. The IFA is set to start in 2024. They currently have 6 teams, 3 in Mexico and 3 in the U.S., kind of. There's a Dallas team, an El Paso team, and a to-be-announced team. In their mission statement, it says the league is set to showcase elite football talent from around the world, providing fans with top-tier entertainment and unyielding competition.
Unyielding? Wow.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
They just got to figure out where their teams are going to be.
Yeah. That's just details.
Name, image, and likeness is really trickling down. The great Rick Riley noted in his column this week that a 9-year-old in Los Angeles named Gali Wadood Jr., who was the MVP of Snoop Dogg's Youth League, has scored a 6-figure NIL deal. He is going into 3rd grade.
Oh, my gosh.
Gali is also into basketball, track, and karate and was signed this summer by Family for Life, a sports and entertainment agency that also represents NFL players. When asked what he was going to do with the money, the kid said, "Get a house and get some shoes."
Oh, my goodness.
Pretty good plan.
Yeah. I would reverse the order, but okay.
Hey, more power to him. As Rick Riley pointed out in his column, Macaulay Culkin got paid when he was that age. So why would we have a problem with this?
Well, we shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
Everyone should make whatever they can.
In fact, Galil Wadud Jr. is our P1 of the week.
Let's salute him.
Interesting baseball stat of the week. After his second start as a Ranger on Tuesday, Max Scherzer now has 15 strikeouts and a 2.7 ERA in 2 starts for Texas. He is just the second pitcher in Rangers history with 15 strikeouts and an ERA below 3 in their first 2 appearances with the team. The other, 42-year-old Nolan Ryan in 1989.
Hell yeah. That's right.
SMU's Bryson DeChambeau won his first Live Tour event last weekend at Greenbrier. He shot a final round 58, which in and of itself is unusual, but to make it more unusual, he did it with a bogey. It was the 4th 58 ever shot on a major pro tour. Jim Furyk had a 58 at the Travelers on the PGA Tour in 2016, and on the Japan Golf Tour, Ryo Ishikawa at the Crowns in 2010, and S.H. Kim at the Golf Partner Pro-Am in 2021 each shot a 58. The record for professional golf is held by David Carey, who shot a 57 in a minor tour stop, the Alps Tour, in the 2019 Cervino Open. A 57, the all-time pro golf record. Meanwhile, the 2007 U.S. Open champion and 2009 Masters champion Angel Cabrera was released from jail on parole last Friday after he completed 2 years in custody over violence and harassment cases against 2 of his ex-girlfriends. Cabrera is 53 years old and has missed the last 2 champions' dinners at Augusta. Maryland's Kimberly Winter is the newest addition to the Guinness Book of World Records. She set a new record for the loudest burp by a female.
We need to not keep track of that.
With a 107.3 decibel belch. That is louder than a blender, an electric handheld drill, and even some motorcycles.
Good Lord.
She says she prepared for the event with breakfast, coffee, and beer.
What?
Winter said
beer at breakfast time?
Yeah. Winter said to achieve big burps, she takes a deep breath and tries to manipulate that into something monstrous and magical.
Okay, funny quote. You can burp on command, can't you?
I can.
Wasn't that one of your superpowers?
You want me to try to do it?
Yeah. Pull down the music. Gross.
I mean, they're not too powerful, but they're on command.
Yeah, you don't have that Satan voice burp that you hear some people are able to do. DJ, can you do it?
No, I'm not talented at all.
DJ.
Oh, that was a drop. I'll try to work up a good one
you
during
need
the
better
break.
Self-talk, DJ.
I'm just a realist.
I
get it.
It's too
hang in there,
sad.
DJ.
I mean, if you were to rank yourself on
bottom
as a human on a scale from
bottom.
1 to 10,
1.
DJ.
Bottom. Wait, is 1 the lowest?
Yeah,
1.
Number one.
We're going to get some counseling for DJ after the show. This week's least competent criminal is a 67-year-old woman who got rowdy at Cedar Point Shores Water Park in Sandusky, Ohio. Cops responded to a call there after a woman called a child a brat and a fat ass and pushed him off a floating toy. She identified herself as Jennifer Miller and said she was a Christian woman, a grandmother, and she wouldn't do such a thing.
indeed.
But after officers gave her a warning and left the scene, they determined that the woman had given them a false name. She's really Janet Nail of Taylor, Michigan, and she was arrested for obstruction. One officer said she lied about all of her information and had no reason for doing so. Just giving her a warning. And finally, A lawyer named Murray lost his wife, who passed away after a long illness. At her grave, everyone was appalled because the tombstone read, "Here lies Phyllis, wife of attorney Murray Williams, specializes in divorce and malpractice." Murray burst into tears when he saw it. His brother said, "You should cry, pulling a cheap publicity stunt like this." Murray said, "But you don't understand. I gave them my business card." His brother apologized, but Murray then continued, "And they didn't include the phone number."
Okay. All right.
A lawyer joke.
Lawyer jokes.
That's Friday morning scattershooting, standing proudly with Nessie, our underwater ally.
Thanks for hanging out with your old pal Junior Miller for another edition of Friday Morning Scattershooting. We'll see you next Friday, right here on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310, The Ticket.
And coming up next, the emergency break of the week.
It's time for the emergency break of the week.
And really, the only reason we're doing this.
That moment when programming is brought to a complete halt by a wheels-off comment or technical meltdown.
Saturday, July 22nd, also at Dos Equis Pavilion, Nickelback.
Oh, yeah. Okay, why are we playing this? That is Creed.
Oh, that's Creed?
Did you think that was Nickelback?
Oh, no.
And that's why you wanted to play the Scott Stapp song?
Yeah.
Oh, no, DJ.
I completely messed that up.
DJ, what is happening?
Okay. I'll wear this one.
Dude.
There's no doubt. Tyler, if you can pull up a Nickelback song.
Man. Somehow, I don't know which one you offended more, but you offended one of them just now.
But it was in good faith. I wanted to play the Marlon Soaring song.
That would make sense if Creed was
here.
Let's see who yanked the break the hardest this week on the Little Ticket.
All right, it's brought to us by Crawford Services, AC and Plumbing. George is out today. I have one of the most difficult jobs in broadcasting, being the backup host of the emergency break of the week. It's like being the backup quarterback in the NFL. You have to be prepped every week, but you rarely get to play.
I offered to do it, and Junior just elbowed me out of the way and said, no way. I ain't trusting this to you.
I think my exact words to you were, "This is my time to shine."
Yeah, you did. People want to hear from a star, Gordon, not you.
All right, we have 3 candidates, as usual. These have been handpicked by Giorgio with editorial control by Gordo.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing that.
And candidate number 1 is our newcomer, Matt McLaren, one of our 3 new hosts introduced last week at Cowboys training camp in Oxnard. So at training camp, Gordo, you weren't at this dinner, but there were about 8 of us that went to eat sushi, and we ordered edamame as an appetizer. These little sea beans that come in a pod, and the pod is very hard. Well, you squeeze the pod, and that's how you eat the beans. Well, Matt got his chopsticks and picked up one of the pods and put the whole pod in his mouth, and he's sitting there chewing it.
Chewing for a while, I bet.
Nobody eats edamame like that. Yeah, he was chewing for a while. So they were talking about that story when Matt and Donnie were doing crosstalk last Friday with our other new show, Sean Bass and David Mino.
And my favorite part is him just not wanting to admit that he made a mistake. No. I do it. I've done it. It's fine. You can. Like, can you eat the whole thing? You can.
Yeah, I was so like, I was just like, oh no, you can. Like, I got this, and then I kept
There's
chewing.
a lot of fiber in that.
I was trying to think in my head while I was chewing. I was like, what do I do? Because this is not working.
Did you put the wasabi in first?
Yeah, because you got to
and
taste
then
the
edamame.
wasabi.
I was eating wasabi by itself. I like to get it on
That
my
is
chopstick and suck it off.
What?
I'm sorry.
What's that?
That's a happy chopstick then, huh? Yeah.
Less killer.
God. You know.
Did you at least try it dinner first?
Yeah.
Have a nice conversation or something. There's no way out of this.
You have a small esophagus. So, so you gotta.
That is
like commitment.
like appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's like right.
Wow, there's a lot of funny lines there.
I know it.
Donnie had a great line, happy
Happy
chopsticks.
chopstick. Was that Mino that said, have a small esophagus? Who said that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It was Mino. And I also like Blake taking a shot at his nemesis Killer.
I know, because Killer was laughing in the background, and that was offensive to Blake.
Those two are such rivals.
And then I don't know who in the background was doing the sound, but we didn't need that.
Let's hear that one more time.
And my favorite part is him just not wanting to admit that he made a mistake. No. I do it. I've done it. It's fine. You can. Like, can you eat the whole thing? You can.
Yeah, I was so like, I was just like, oh no, you can't. Like, I got this, and I kept
There's a
like,
lot of fiber in that.
I was trying to think in my head while I was chewing. I was like, what do I do? Because this is not working.
Did you put the wasabi in first?
Yeah, because you got to
and
taste
then the edamame.
wasabi.
I was eating wasabi by itself. I like to get it on my chopstick and suck it off.
What?
I'm sorry.
What's that?
That's a happy chopstick then, huh? Yeah.
Less Killer.
God. You know.
Did you at least buy dinner first?
Yeah.
Have a nice conversation or something.
There's no way out of this.
You do have a small esophagus. So. Yeah. So you gotta.
That is like appropriate. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It's like right.
Well, that's great. There's a lot there. All right, so our newcomer, Matt McLaren, his first nomination, I believe, for the Emergency Break of the Week. I've already failed as the backup host of the e-break. I forgot one of our sponsors. We also need to mention that because nominee number 2 is Jacob Dedamore. Deddy. He was producing for the Hardline this week, and they were talking about the greatest college football players of all time, Vince Young being one of those, and Deddy wasn't listening.
It's exciting. It's drugs and fights and chicks and
I'll
money.
I'll say this, as much of a punchline and a joke he is, I'm not sure I've ever seen anybody better on a football field at the college level. And I know that is hyperbole because we've seen some special dudes.
I think it's Vince, Reggie Bush, Adrian Peterson, and Johnny Manziel, the best 4 college football players I've ever seen.
I can live with that.
Ever.
That's fair.
You don't put Vince Young in there?
He did.
I just said Vince.
Yeah.
As I just said.
Daddy, how did you miss it from 5 seconds ago?
Yeah.
Vince was the first one he said.
Texas.
All right.
Not
it's awesome.
Vince.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, the topic, by the way, I should mention, was the Johnny Manziel documentary.
Yeah, and this was the second time that Deddy had this happen to him in that show. And during Audio Grab Bag at 8:40 today, we're going to hear the other time, I believe, that Deddy, once again, just wasn't listening to what the people had just said on the air.
It is pretty amazing, as Bob pointed out. They just said Vince Young like 5 seconds before.
5 seconds.
Let's listen one more time.
It's exciting. It's drugs and fights and chicks and
I'll
money.
And I'll say this, as much of a punchline and a joke he is, I'm not sure I've ever seen anybody better on a football field at the college level. And I know that is hyperbole because we've seen some special dudes.
I think it's Vince, Reggie Bush, Adrian Peterson, and Johnny Manziel, the best 4 college football players I've ever seen.
I can live with that.
Ever.
That's fair.
You don't put Vince Young in there?
He did.
I just said Vince.
As I just said.
Daddy, how did you miss it from 5 seconds ago?
Yeah.
Vince was the first one he said.
Texas.
All right.
Not
it's awesome.
Vince.
It's on Netflix.
All right, so that's candidate number 2, Jacob Dedamore. And candidate number 3 is George Dunham. Not here to defend himself. He has the day off. But a couple of days ago, we had been talking about DeMarcus Ware singing the national anthem at the Hall of Fame game. Did a great job. And Gordo asked, who is that on piano?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's strange is I almost made the joke of, is that Joe Namath on piano?
But
instead I was thinking maybe that's so far off because he wouldn't be there or something.
Right.
And then I said, who is that on piano? And then George said Joe Namath. And it was kind of funny that he mentioned Joe Namath. The visual is funny. And lo and behold, the P1 comes up and photoshops Joe Namath playing piano while DeMarcus is singing.
Really funny picture.
Really funny picture. And you decide to show it to him right in the middle of a segment.
Yes.
So George starts busting out laughing for some unknown reason during this segment.
Yeah.
At the time.
We had transitioned from the Where Joe Namath joke to the David Beckham story about him surprising a guy at a barbecue stand here in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we were on to a different topic.
And she said that they had on that dude who owns the Blues Barbecue on Preston Road in far north Dallas.
What did he order?
Where David and Victoria Beckham went. I think he ordered like some freshly sliced brisket.
Hot dog?
He didn't order hot
No
dog.
sides?
I don't know, George. It just says the brisket.
Didn't get bean cornbread?
He didn't get bean cornbread, as far as I know. What are you looking at?
I'm showing George a picture that I think you need to see, too. It's Joe Namath playing the piano for DeMarcus Ware. Some P1 sent it to us on Twitter. I'll retweet it. So if you're just joining us, 30 minutes ago, we had the audio of DeMarcus Ware singing the national anthem at the Hall of Fame game. And somebody asked, who's that on piano? Gordon asked that, and George said it was Joe Namath because the Jets were playing.
He's got a Yamaha.
You've just lost Ja for the rest of the
hilarious.
Playing a yammy.
Okay, retweeting this now. All right, so that could be on me because I showed the picture and disrupted the show, but I think it's on George's laugh.
Yes, but I think it should be on you because when you're broadcasting with a simpleton like that you can't throw him like that during the middle, during midstream.
Well, he had an all-star week of laughs this
Boy,
week.
he
my
did.
goodness.
And having that congestion in his chest made the laugh so much better. All right, let's vote. 888-787-1310. Is it Matt McLaren, Jacob Dedamore, or Ja? Hi, you're on the ticket. Who do you like this week in the e-break?
Morning, radio.
This is a fake one.
Morning, T-Bird Muse.
Sure.
Just want to say, hey, did you know Craig Elo was 62 today? He's from Lubbock.
That's a fake one.
Give me,
Okay, yeah.
Sucking off, and,
Okay, that's
Okay,
a Matt
McLaren
vote. Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins the e-break?
Rose is red, violet's blue. My vote's for George. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Hi, you're on the ticket. Who do you like this week?
Hey, I'll vote for the one where the man didn't know that Vince Young had just been mentioned, and then he repeated his name very briefly afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, formal guy.
Hi, you're on the ticket voting in the e-break.
Yeah, morning, boys. I am voting for Bronchitis Giorgio.
Okay.
Bronchitis.
Good morning. You're on the ticket. Who do you vote for?
And in today's Lonesome Dove quote, offer Gordo this. If you hadn't loaned me that $2, I'll be halfway to Matagorda by now. Cruzio votes for Matt sucking it off.
Okay.
That was said to Dish Boggett. Or Dish Boggett said that. In Lonesome Dove.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
What was that, on page 907 he said that?
No, it was earlier. It was earlier. And I don't know that the whole book is even over 900 pages.
It's close.
874 or something like that.
Hi, you're on the ticket voting in the e-break.
Am I on American e-break, man?
Yes.
Hey, Craig.
Creepy.
You want to vote?
Hey, George.
He's off
George
today.
has the day off.
Sorry, guys. Goodbye.
Hi, you're on the ticket. Who do you vote for?
What?
Hello, good morning.
Who is this? Is this combative Lisa?
It is.
Well, hi. How are you doing? You in a
I'm
good
good.
mood?
So far.
Do you have a vote?
Yeah, first I want to say that the wasabi is absolutely disgusting, but I want to vote for George.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. I kind of agree with her. I'm not a wasabi person.
Boy, I am.
Really?
You can't really even have sushi without wasabi.
Yeah, you can. I did at Nobu.
I don't think you did it.
I did. I damn sure did, Craig.
Hi, you're on the ticket. Who wins the e-break this week?
Radio.
That's also fake.
Yep.
Just kidding, guys. It's Mark Followell. Give me Dinamore.
That's not Mark Falwell either.
Hi, you're on the ticket voting in the e-break.
Do you have a vote?
Okay. You're on the air.
All right, you gotta talk to us.
Hi, I vote for George.
Oh, is this Tina?
It sure is.
Ah, there you go.
Hey,
It's
how are
Tina.
ya?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Yeah. Are you upset that Craig yelled at you about not talking to us and listening to the radio? I thought that was very rude of him.
No, that's okay. I
Thank you.
listen to you guys every single day.
How old are you now, Tina?
I'm 75.
Way to go, Tina. I hope you're handling this heat okay.
Oh, God. It's terrible, isn't it?
It's awful.
Yeah.
All right, then, Tina.
Gosh, Craig, rushing her off the phone, yelling at her when she's on the phone.
We're way late.
I'm sorry, Tina.
We've got so much Phil Mickelson stuff to get to. Can't spend too much time with Tina this morning, but we love you, Tina.
Yeah, you're the guy who would have kicked Tina over in the CVS aisle when she's going too slow, when you're trying to get your boner pills.
Hi, you're on the ticket voting in the e-brake. Who do you like?
Hey, good morning, users. This is Muffin the Bear.
Oh, hey, Muffin.
Hey, how you doing, Gordon?
I'm doing well. Who you voting for?
Hey, man, could I give a real quick shout-out to my dear friend, UTA legend, Willie Brand? And then I would also like to vote for Matt McLaren, please.
Okay, that's 3 for Matt. Willie Brand, UTA scoring guard, a true legend. Hi, you're on the ticket voting in the e-brake.
This is President Donald J. Trump.
Don't sound like him.
No, this is him. I just got indicted for the 5th time.
Okay, go ahead and vote.
Okay.
It's got to be Georgie.
All right, and we have a winner.
Whoa!
George wins this week for losing it during a segment.
And she said that they had on that dude who owns the Blues Barbecue on Preston Road in far north Dallas.
What did he order?
Where David and Victoria Beckham went. I think he ordered like some freshly sliced brisket.
Hot dog?
He didn't order hot
No
dog.
sides?
I don't know, George. It just says the brisket.
Didn't get bean cornbread?
He didn't get bean cornbread, as far as I know. What are you looking at?
I'm showing George a picture that I think you need to see, too. It's Joe Namath playing the piano for DeMarcus Ware. Some P1 sent it to us on Twitter. I'll retweet it. All right, George wins the e-brake. Mike, how many is that for him?
99 for Ja, 36 behind Norman. I have Billy Walters on speed dial Hitskis.
He's at 99? One more for the century mark.
Thank God this was not the century mark today, and he was out for it.
Wow. Boy, we've got a big event around the corner. An audio grab bag.
Thanks, Miller, man. You know, they're just playing, Tyler's playing Kenny Rogers there. Also figures into Righteous Gemstones this season. But in listening to old Kenny Rogers tunes, does it ever bug you that he sang with such Bill Clinton voice? He always sang with the thing happening there. You got to know when to hold 'em.
Guess I was okay with it.
And I think it's an affectation. I don't think he naturally did that. He's actually singing there, but there's other songs where he does it really bad. He has Clinton voice. All right, in audio grab bag. We got to talking about this. Corby and them played this about a month and a half ago, I think. It's Lil Gotti, the musical artist, and he was telling a story, and he had probably the most you-knows, and you know what I'm sayings, as we focus on verbal crutches that people have. He used these verbal crutches so many times in this story that he was telling. This is what it sounded like.
It was a crazy story, man. You know, Silk is the baby boy. You know, everybody loves, you know what I'm saying, loves Silk, you know what I'm saying. And she was upset, you know what I'm saying, about a certain situation that happened, you know what I'm saying, with Silk, you know what I'm saying, dealing with a female that Silk was dealing with, you know what I'm saying, dating, you know what I'm saying, at the time, you know, she was well known, you know what I'm saying. Everybody knew that he was dating Maya at the time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew that Silk was dating Maya at the time. He was crazy about Maya. You know what I'm saying? But it was believed, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, suspected, you know what I'm saying, that, you know what I'm saying, that, she might have had a crush on Mystical, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, that them two, you know what I'm saying, had some type of, you know what I'm saying, you know, rendezvous, you know what I'm saying, this was what was suspected. But Silk was hurt about that, you know what I'm saying, and so she didn't like that, you know what I'm saying, so they wound up, you know what I'm saying, coercing, you know what I'm saying, Mike, you know what I'm saying, Mystical to come to the studio, you know what I'm saying, you know, and they wind up, you know what I'm saying, jumping the man, you know what I'm saying, over that, you know what I'm saying, you know, and that's when you start to see a lot of the decline, you know what I'm saying, of No Limit, you know what I'm saying, and Mike doing things, you know what I'm saying, but, you know, over time, you know what I'm saying, those wounds, you know what I'm saying, they have, you know what I'm saying, hell, you know what I'm saying, if y'all see Mike is on tour, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, the No Limit reunion tour, you know what I'm saying, Mike is on there heavy, strong, you know what I'm saying, doing it, you know what I'm saying, doing this thing. But that was, you know what I'm saying, that was funny. But you know what I'm saying,
That's unbelievable.
I know. That's quite a crutch. So what I did is as I said yesterday, I was going to go through and take out all the you know what I'm sayings and you knows and see what he sounded like there. So this is what it sounds like cleaned up.
it was a crazy story, man. Silk is the baby boy. Everybody loves Silk. She was upset about a certain situation that happened with Silk dealing with a female that Silk was dealing with dating at the time. She was well known. Everybody knew that he was dating Maya at the time. Everybody knew that Silk was dating Maya at the time. He was crazy about Maya. Well, it was believed or suspected that she might have had a crush on Mystical. That them two had some type of rendezvous. This is what was suspected. But Silk was hurt about that, saying, and so she didn't like that. So they wound up coercing Mike Mystical to come to the studio, but they wind up jumping the man over there. And that's when you start to see a lot of the decline of No Limit. They might do things, but over time, those wounds, y'all see Mike is on tour, No Limit reunion tour. Mike is on there heavy, strong, doing this thing. But that was funny.
So there it is. There's the story.
Wow.
It's half the length.
And he sounds like a different person.
I know it. So here are all of those you knows. I took them out of the audio and then just pasted them into another audio file. Here they all are lined up. It's 49 seconds of you knows, and you know what I'm saying.
Oh, you know what I'm saying, 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 you know, she was, you know what I'm saying, 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 and you know what I'm saying, 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 hell, you know what I'm saying, 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 doing it, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, that was, but you know what I'm saying, this was, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying.
There it is. That's Lil Gotti and his crutch phrase, you know what I'm saying. This is a hockey player named Mark Senden. I don't know if he's famous or whether this is in amateur hockey, but he has a catchphrase, a crutch phrase, and everything like that. And everything like that.
You know, we had a few odd man rushes there in the first period, which was not good for us, but I mean, everyone had their nerves going and everything like that, and then, which we were glad to just keep them to one and everything like that, and then we went back after the period in the locker room, just talked about what we need to fix and everything like that, stick to the game plan, get back on it and everything like that, so just paid off, stick to the game plan, you know, stiffen up defense and everything like that. No pinches, everything like that.
You moving on to the semifinals. Your uncle, Stu, played here a while back, I think 20 years ago with Alexandria. Did you get any advice from him coming in here to the tournament?
Yeah, I got a nice long text from him this morning saying don't let the atmosphere, get your nerves shaken up and everything like that. Just play your game, which is what I try to do out here and everything like that. So, yeah, definitely help from him and everything like that.
Moving on to the...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never heard that one before.
That would be exhausting to work it in that much.
I know. And everything like that. Everything like that. Also, in the e-break today, we had Deddy not listening when he asked Corby if he put Vince Young in his list of greatest college athletes. And Corby had just mentioned 5 seconds before that he did. And that was not the only time that Deddy was not listening. Here was another moment of Deddy not listening.
Very few, I don't want to say no other countries, but very few other countries decided that it's a great idea to just have animal names for all of our sports teams.
Yeah, like in the Premier League, plenty of clubs have nicknames, but they're kind of unofficial.
That's right.
Like the Toffees or the Red Devils or whatever.
But we don't think it's weird to call
Gunners.
our hockey team the Pittsburgh Penguins. We think that's totally normal, and we should do that. And if you don't do it, you're weird. Detroit Red Wings, things like that. That is weird to most of the world.
Are we the only country on the planet, though, that has animal names for their teams and goofball names? I'm talking about like cricket, rugby, any of it. Are we the only country that does that?
I think Australia has dipped their toe in that water a little bit.
A lot of soccer teams over in EPL and whatnot, they do those kind of nicknames like the unofficial nicknames.
As I just said.
Sorry.
He did make that point, but you're
yes, as I just said.
But you're right, Jacob. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but Dave was right first, but you're right too.
Underrated line by Bob there. Dave was right first, but you're right too. The comforting parent there,
Right.
helping Daddy along.
You know what I think is at the heart of this, Daddy not listening? I think he's still horny on Twitter.
You think he's tweeting
I am
OnlyFans
horny
girls?
Boy, you nailed this. Absolutely.
Yes, I think during the show, he's getting horny on Twitter. All those women he follows, and he's constantly messaging them or responding to them, and I don't think he's paying attention to the show.
She's 56 and gorgeous.
Gross.
But he's also got sports points he wants to get out there. So.
Right.
Have you noticed an increase in adult content on Twitter? Like,
Yes.
I noticed like responses to something I tweet out, and I'm reading people's responses, and there's
Yes.
always hey, you want to look at these?
Mhm.
And it's an image of a woman who's like, I don't know if the bots are really coming on strong these days.
Thanks a lot, Elon.
Yeah. And shoving T-Taws in my face.
All right, Gordo, thanks for that audio grab bag.
Indeed. Thanks, Craig. Fantastic Friday fan feedback where we listen to you, the dear listener. And you can reach us by email. We also have Twitter handles. I'm Gordon Keith. He's Junes_Miller. No, Junior.
Yes, Junior_Miller.
Okay. Hey, Twitter world. We also have a Discord. Gordon Keith is the name of that Discord server. And we have telephone calls, 888-787-1310, if we ever get to them. P1 Michael says, let's set up a race. George on his lawnmower racing Norm and his cane. Who would win that one?
George.
George thinks his lawnmower goes 15 miles an hour.
Norm can't move very fast on his cane.
No, he can't. Oh. P1 Ryan says, my friend works for the company that does the merch for all AT&T Stadium and Bronco Stadium. What's Bronco Stadium?
AT&T Denver? Is he talking about Denver?
I don't know. Anyway, his friend told him that on T-Swizzle, T-Swift merch sales per show, he said they do $10 million in merchandise sales per show for her. And it could be more, he said, but at AT&T they sold out of some of the stuff the first of the 3 shows she did. They get a shipment of 175 pallets of merch per show. So she makes $13 to $14 million per show, which includes her cut of merch sales and sometimes concessions. But $10 million worth of merchandise, that's just insane.
Man.
That's crazy.
If the Musers just got 1% of that.
I know it.
Think about that.
Yeah, we need to broker that. Brad C. says the best version of A Christmas Carol is not the one Junior mentioned. It's the Muppet Christmas Carol with Michael Caine, and it's not even close. And it's interesting he brings that one up.
I've never heard of this.
Because that was my favorite as a kid. Was the Muppet Christmas Carol with Michael Caine as he played Bob Cratchit, I think.
I've never even heard of this.
Or maybe, no, he played Ebenezer Scrooge. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's good. You should watch it. Wow. Can you do a Michael Caine impersonation?
No.
Seems like a lot of people can do that voice. I can't do that voice. P1 Ty. He mentions Police Squad, which we talked about at length today. It's the old TV series. It only lasted like 6 episodes, but they were all great. They would do a gag at the beginning of the Police Squad episodes where tonight's special guest, Florence Henderson. And they would always die in the opening credits of the show. The special guest would always die in a weird way. I think even William Shatner rolled out of a car doing 70 and died right as they're announcing his name as special guest. But I was talking about Police Squad, the series, because we were talking about red pistachios and whatever happened to red pistachios, and they had a funny scene in Police Squad concerning that, because Leslie Nielsen and his boss were out on a stakeout, and they're just pounding pistachios. And after Leslie Nielsen eats a pistachio, he spits the shell out and throws it out of the window. And then when it came time to chase the crook, he can't open his door because they zoom out, and there's about a 5-foot mound of red pistachio shells. They've been eating so many of them. But what happened to the red pistachio? Well, I'm certainly glad you asked me that, because this was given to us by, hold on a second. Why can't I find it? Oh,
by Mr.
By P1 Michelle. She says, I heard somewhere in the last few years that pistachios were dyed red because they were shipped from Turkey, and the dye covered up the imperfections in the nuts. Love my morning musers, signed P1 Michelle. Then P1 Jason, who's an associate pastor at a Presbyterian church in Tulsa, Oklahoma, listens to us from up there. He sent me this article, and it's an article about why we used to have red pistachio nuts and now we no longer do. And that's because in the 70s and certainly the 60s and 70s, they used to come from Iran, I think it was, and Syria. And because of the way they dried them, it would expose all these different stains and imperfections on the pistachio shell. And so they would dye them red to cover up the imperfections. And like almost all of our pistachios came from over there at that time. So then they used it to cover up imperfections. But then when American manufacturers started getting in the pistachio business, people were used to seeing pistachios being red colored.
Huh.
So then there were American companies that would dye their pistachios red also. And so all pistachio nuts were red during that time. Well, lo and behold, we start having sanctions against imported Iranian products, and so they get out of the pistachio business. We stop importing them from them. And then the American producers take over. And now, like 90% of the pistachios we get in America are from California. And we no longer dye them red.
Right.
Because our drying process does not show imperfections. We nailed it.
So I've learned this week that we used to have red pistachios. I have no memory of that. And that Michael Caine did A Christmas Carol with the Muppets.
Yes.
Two
Correct.
things I did not know on Monday.
Jason says, I have to share this. I've tried to share the ticket gems with my wife, and all I normally get is an eye roll and a meh attitude. She literally bought me AirPods at one point so that she didn't have to hear the ticket daily. I died laughing when I asked her this morning if she remembered red pistachios, and her response was, is that a band? She thought that was a band.
Okay.
No, it was not a band. P1 Allen says, going back to y'all's conversation on cultural sayings at the ticket started, last night in a CBS comedy, a character said something ridiculous, and another character said that would make a great band name. I've never heard that anywhere else but the ticket. No way that they didn't get it from y'all. Incorrect, Allen. The That's a Great Band Name was a cultural meme that started before the ticket. We got it from somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you think we started it?
Yeah,
or had you heard it
I
before
did.
that? Oh, really? No, I remember that being jokes that were floating around in the ether. That's the way I remember.
Before the ticket started.
Before the ticket started it.
Okay, that's three things.
Because
I've learned.
I may have even started it on the ticket, but I got it from somewhere else.
Okay.
That's full disclosure. Speaking of full disclosure, Richard has a clarification on what kind of deaths you have to disclose when you're selling a property in which a death has occurred, selling a home. He says in Texas, you've got to disclose violent death on the property. So, homicide, murder, something like that. You do not need to disclose suicide or death by natural causes. You must disclose death due to condition of the property, like an exposed electrical wire that killed someone or something
Makes
like
sense.
that. Yeah. You are not required to disclose death due to an accident, like if the occupant fell off a ladder.
Makes sense.
Right. So that's the clarification there.
Although there perhaps should be a law that says you have to disclose any death and specify how it happened so that the potential buyer of the home could decide if they want to live with that ghost.
Yeah, the ghost is the problem here. That's why people want to know about deaths on the property.
Right.
Is because of the whole haunting thing.
Right.
Then we were talking. The reason we were talking about pistachios is P1 Nick was saying they used to put them out for people, guests in living rooms, and I said, people don't really have guests anymore. You don't visit each other. Ryan points out that now that we have social media and things like that, and so many ways to connect with people through text, people don't visit each other anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We can just text them if we want to talk to them, or Zoom or whatever.
Well, that's the truth. I can't remember the last time, say as a couple, my wife and I went to another couple's house just to visit. We may have gone for a birthday party or a Christmas party, but not just to visit that other couple.
Right. And I remember when I was a kid, like my grandparents, and we'd stay like most of the summer with my grandparents, it seemed like they were always having friends over to visit.
Yeah. And my parents growing up.
Yeah.
Were going to friends' houses to visit.
To just visit.
Yeah.
And they'd stay in there talking for forever. Your parents would stay talking to their friends forever in the living room, and you'd be forced to play with kids that were weird. You had no connection with, and go see all their creepy toys. Crutch words. P1 Brown says, Norm often used the crutch prepositional phrase, in this world, to steady himself before making a point.
To steady himself.
Yeah, not only did he do it in the Choose Energy spot, but he used to do, in this world, RBIs are harder to come by. Christine. Oh, wait a second. I want to wait on Christine's email for just a moment. Nick says, at my company, the word basically has become the go-to crutch word to start off every statement. Basically, what we need to do is really entrench this product with emerging markets. Basically, we need you to file by 5 p.m.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Chris says, I might have missed it, but I think you guys omitted kind of and sort of as on the list of filler and or crutch phrases.
I think we did.
Did we mention it?
No, I think we omitted them.
Yeah, I know. And that is a huge one that happens. And I've noticed that that's a common one on beta male NPR.
Kind of a sort of a...
Well, what happened was sort of an emergent trend of kind of a sort of the type of people who culturally have that sort of impact. Don't sort of... They kind of...
That's a massive post-game press conference one, too. You guys sort of struggled out there in this house.
Right.
Just say it.
Just softening it a little bit.
Coach, kind of tell me what you were expecting from the team as far as kind of how they prepared mentally for those situations.
Monkey butt.
Ben says he was in a meeting, and they have a client that uses and incessantly. And he prepped for the meeting by having a tally sheet in front of him. So he was going to count them. And in the 30-minute meeting, there were 32 and ums and 148 you-knows.
Damn.
So 180 crutch words in 30 minutes, 6 per minute, one every 10 seconds. And he said he got through the whole meeting and realized he had no idea what they were talking about because he was so hyper-focused on the ums and you-knows that he didn't listen to any words in between those. Finally, Christine says, Gordon! My husband Brandon and I are both long-time P1s. And today is our 11th wedding anniversary, and I'd love it if y'all could give him a shout-out. Let's go, Brandon. He has discovered a hidden talent that few people discover in adulthood. He is a skilled chalk artist, or chalktrist, if you will. And she attached a picture, and there he is. He did their whole driveway It says Dos Lobos, and it too. I mean, really good artwork, and this is fantastic that he did this. He said, please give him accolades. He most definitely deserves them. This was done freehand and took about 4 hours. So, yeah, happy anniversary to Brandon and Christine.
You know, I admire the chalk artist because they know it's temporary. They know the next rainstorm, it's probably all gone. Yet they're willing to put in that blood, sweat, that work to make that beauty, even though it's gone maybe in a day.
It's kind of the West's version of Buddhist sand art. You make something beautiful and then let it blow away in the wind to emphasize the ephemeralness of life.
And you're okay with that?
Yes, you're totally okay with that. And I didn't read one of these emails, but as somebody who watched the Twitch stream last night and noticed my black fingernails, which Craig has been distracted by too. Yeah, all my fingernails are black right now. I had a horrible time with a roofing frame hammer and roofing nails.
You
yesterday.
hit all 10 fingers.
Every single fingernail was smacked with that hammer.
Wow.
And so that's why I look like Kelvin Gemstone's friend Keith.
Smash!
Right
Who might be my favorite character in the Gemstones.
So creepy.
He's so creepy and weird and just...
Have you got to the episode yet that's basically it's all young Gemstone kids? It's young Jesse and young Judy, young Kelvin.
Yeah, was that last season?
No, well, there's one this season, too.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen this season.
The actor who plays young Jesse has nailed his delivery and speech pattern. It's so fantastic.
The whole show is so great.
What a funny series that is. It's great.
Although I've noticed the kids are being the grown kids are being a little more childish even than they've been in the past this year.
They get really ridiculous this year.
They're really ramping that up.
But I guess this is the last season of it.
Oh, it is?
It feels like they wrapped it up to me.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's probably done, but what a treat it was for those 3 years. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because at the fact that it ever happened. Oh.
Amen to that, brother. Amen.
Sure I botched that.
All right, that's the corner.
Get the Steak Podcast at patreon.com/sportsgreek.
Let's start with some good news here in the 1130 news, as it is tax-free weekend.
All right. It was always a great weekend as a kid when you got your back-to-school clothes.
Great weekend? I hated it. You knew you were going back to school. I hated seeing stuff like this.
Yeah, but I wanted to get the nicest FUBU jersey I could get for school.
not pay tax on your FUBU jersey?
Yeah, on my blue and black 05
FUBU
jeans. Jersey.
My wife still takes advantage of it now. You need some underwear or, T-shirts or something? Yeah, why not? Let's go get my drawers tax-free. I'm wearing tax-free drawers right now.
They estimate that...
a year old.
The average family spends about $900 on back-to-school items. And I'm not there yet with my little one, but that seems like a lot.
Does that include clothes and supplies and everything?
Yes.
Seems accurate.
Couple pairs of shoes, couple pairs of pants.
All your school supplies.
Backpack.
Because you want people to think that you're the big dog and you got to look good. You know what I mean?
Is this artificial numbers from the stores too, where they're saying, "Well, everyone, spends $900 on their kid"?
About $900.
What do you not love? Don't love your kid?
Not $900 worth. I'll bet you Blake's not at $900 worth of love with his kid now. He's too young.
Correct.
But when he gets school age,
yeah, then you will.
Maybe.
But now?
Yeah, I feel like I got gypped. I don't feel like my parents ever spent $900 on me to go back to school. That one FUBU jersey was all I got.
Just got chicken branded T-shirts.
Yeah. Instead of wear chicken.
I remember the first day of school being you're the most nervous because you have to have your fit.
Yeah.
You have to make sure, especially high school, that you have the right clothes so you won't be made fun of. I don't think I was. I think my sophomore year was the one I probably should have been made fun of. Because I had these maroon pants and purple and maroon shirt that was real long.
You went over maroon?
Oh, I did.
God.
But it was Genera. And I thought Gennaro was it.
Gennaro.
And it may have been knockoff. I don't know.
You had knockoff maroon Gennaro clothing?
I feel it was real.
Can I retroactively make fun of you?
In your FUBU jersey? No.
Yeah, but I pulled that FUBU off. Barely showed my little 10-year-old belly.
I mean, he was the starting left tackle for his football team.
Yeah,
In the 7th grade.
Starting left tackle has to have the best FUBU jersey.
For the scout team starting.
Did you wear your football jersey like on a Friday game day to school?
On game day, yeah.
Boy, I did too.
Yeah.
And I bet you thought you were so cool.
I was.
Had
You
it
were
tucked
cool.
in.
Oh, I didn't tuck it in. I wasn't a nerd.
I may have tucked it in.
There's no doubt Blake tucked his in.
I'm a tucker.
I bet.
So to speak.
I heard stores sell clothing for you now. Yeah, that was we would get in early. You know, Coach would have wasn't exactly the best diet. He would have donuts and Sunny D for us on game day.
Sunny D.
Yeah.
What a thick replacement of a breakfast drink that everyone thought was healthy.
It's
that probably had
basically-
no health benefits whatsoever.
It's drinking Clorox, but orange colored.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Unless they're a ticket sponsor, which in that case...
We love it.
Sunny
It's
D.
so
Love it.
delicious.
Monty here for Sunny Delight. You tired of classic orange juice?
You're tired of thin orange juice?
Yeah, you tired of real tasting oranges?
The thicker the better. Sunny D.
The unwoke orange juice. Sunny D.
You know, the one
Libs.
fashion trend that I never owned a pair of snakeskin boots. And that's probably my one regret.
I think
And why
most
would
people
you?
say that. You're not in the minority there.
That they didn't? Oh, it was huge when I was in high school. Huge.
I don't remember one person wearing snakeskin
Well,
boots.
I'm quite a bit older than you are. So maybe the fad went away.
Maybe ours was the Doc Martens.
Yeah, we had the Docs for sure.
Snakeskins were, you were cool. You had the tighter jeans with the snakeskin boots. All the dudes who thought they were,
What? And people at your business school were wearing that?
Oh, yeah. And I wanted a pair. Feet too wide, though. You know what they say about wide
They didn't
feet?
make snakeskins in double E.
No, what do they say?
No.
You say big socks, I'm going to throw my phone at you.
He's trying to think of something else real quick.
I don't want you throwing your phone.
He's got
Then
nothing.
don't say
Because you'd
it.
probably miss. I've seen your arm. It's terrible.
So you actually try to get fitted for snakeskin boots?
Yes. I would have been cool.
Where do you get those? Mervin's?
At the boot store. I don't know. I can't
It sounds
remember.
like you didn't really have
Well,
a
you
good
go to
lead
the
on
mall.
them.
You go to Redbird Mall in one of the stores to go get your snakeskin boots.
And you would have spent your whole $900 allotment.
They
on
weren't that
boots.
much. Again, I'm quite a bit older. Things
true.
were cheap back in my day, Monty. But I never had one. Maybe I can get a pair now. And rock them.
I'm sure no one up here would make fun of you for them.
So if I got you some for your birthday, that would be like a legit good gift? You'd be excited.
Yeah, high school me would.
Okay, you're
And then I'd wear
past
'em
them
for-
now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
I've never owned a pair of boots.
Are you talking like these?
Well, they're higher than that. I don't know. What kind of shoe is that? What did you look up?
These are like Prince boots. Snakeskin boots, what you said. Those are the first ones that came up.
Well, those are dumb. I'm talking about the one like the
Like
fourth
cowboy
one.
boots?
Yeah, like those. Don't hum me. That you weren't born when those were in.
I'd like to thank my parents for that.
I'd like to thank mine because I was glad to be a part of that phenomenon that I couldn't take part of. That and jellies.
So obviously, clothes and shoes are tax-free this weekend, which includes workout clothes, golf skirts, leotards, and tights. But I don't think I knew this, that also uniforms for chefs, nurses, waitstaff, military, postal service, police, and fire are also tax-exempt. So more than your typical student can get in on this. And this says if you've got babies in the house, diapers are tax-free.
Great.
I feel like this is good information.
Yeah.
It is. Your son still in diapers?
Oh, yeah.
So go get some this weekend and save money.
I texted
This
my
is for
wife
you.
that diapers are tax-free this weekend.
Oh, so she could go get them. So you
Yeah.
could just sit at home and do nothing.
You're already going to be there anyway.
Like you're out right now. How about on the way home, you stop and do a nice thing for your family and grab some tax-free diapers?
Your day is done at 1 now.
Oh, like 1:15.
That makes the difference?
Poor guy.
How have you been filling that time that you now have?
Video games.
Ross. Yeah, I've been playing some video games.
Oh, man. All right. I'm
Got
not
him.
mad at
See
it.
ya, Monty. Bitch.
In
What
our
else
final
is on that
story,
response?
it's hot. It's not raining. There's no end in sight. And now the first DFW West Nile virus death has been reported in Irving. So basically that's the end. We can't even go outside. Now mosquitoes are killing us.
That's a bad thing, Blake. Are you afraid of West Nile?
I don't go outside that much. So unless one like comes in on my DoorDash bag,
Sneaks in.
yeah, if he sneaks in my chicken parm, I'm probably alright.
I will pull over if a mosquito gets in my car and I see it flying around. I will pull over to the side of the road and let all the windows down and get that thing out of there.
I don't know if I've told this story with you before, but driving home from here one day, I went in the garage and got in my car, and I noticed a roach in the back. And I hate roaches. They're horrible. But it's like midnight. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here all night trying to get this thing out. So I drive home. I'm about 5 minutes away from my house. This thing starts like flying around in the cab. And I am freaking out. I'm swerving. I mean, I'm not being a good driver at all. And I'm like you, rolling the windows down, trying to get this thing out. And I get home, I park, I go inside. 2 minutes later, I see lights outside my house and a knock at my door, and it's a couple of cops. Someone had called them and said that I was a drunk driver.
Driving erratically.
And they followed me home to see where I lived. And so the cops came and tried to see if I was a drunk driver. And I had to explain to them, no, it's fine. I'm just a big P. I don't like bugs.
So they can retroactively give you a ticket? You've already made it home.
I don't know, because I guess I could have very easily just been like, I wasn't driving. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, prove it.
But because I hadn't been drinking, I didn't care. I was like, yeah, no, I was just trying to evade a roach.
Trying to get a roach out of my truck.
No, not that kind of roach. A real roach. A real one.
Man, that seems weird that they would knock on your door after you get home.
At like 12:30.
I wouldn't accept that ticket if they tried to give it to me.
Well, you shouldn't have been drinking, Donovan.
Well, catch me when I'm on the road. Not when I'm at my house.
Why are you getting belligerent, sir?
Yeah,
why are you bowing up to
police?
police?
Why are you back-talking the police right now?
I'm not back
I'm
talking.
good.
I'm here.
Well, you backed down quickly just to us.
Yes, Mr. Officer.
I won't
Normally it's ACAB Donnie.
I won't do it again.
But now...
I remember one time I guess I was parked wrongly at my own home. Because you're supposed to park, I guess, the way of traffic if you're parking on the curb.
Yep.
And it felt like it was way easier for me to walk out of my house because the driver's side is right there at the curb, so I can, and it's in front of my house, so I feel like I'm okay.
Worth parking illegal over.
I think so. It saves me that much time having to walk around to get into the driver's
I
side.
do the same thing.
Those 2 seconds.
But it's 9:30 at night. I'm in my underwear watching Mavericks basketball, and there is the cop beating on my door. The loud sound that they make, that you know it's an officer of the law.
Yeah, it's not the knuckles. It's like the
Right,
base of the
it's
fist.
the boom, 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 boom,
it's
and
the
your
forearm. Yeah,
9:30. You're kind of what's that? And I do this, open the door and kind of stick my head around because I don't have a shirt on and I just have my underwear. And he told me, "Hey, you're parked the wrong way." Okay. Like, you want me to move my car now?
I would have given you $1,000 to toss your keys at him.
For him to move it? Oh man, that would have been so G. Do you think I would have been arrested for that?
What are you doing with that nightstick, officer?
Yeah. You just put him back under the mat when you're done.
Or do I get a ticket? Like, they won't arrest me for that, right?
No.
They wouldn't arrest you. You get a ticket, yeah.
But he sat there until I turned my car around.
Serious?
So I slowly put my shorts on, put a shirt on,
Yeah, I
my
would've drugged that
shoes.
out.
I did. And then when I walked outside, he was still
He had nothing
right
better else
there.
to do.
until I turned my car around.
I don't like that.
I put on my snakeskin boots.
You didn't have them.
My Genera.
That was Tyler Samsel, by the way, booing the police.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
Did he give you a ticket when you jumped the curb?
No.
For reckless driving?
I just failed the test. That was my punishment.
What if you had a couple of beers or something? You could have told him, like, look, I've been drinking, dude. I can't move my car.
I didn't think
For
about
next
that.
time.
Yeah, I'm drunk.
Yeah.
You want me out there driving my car?
We'll holla.
That's entrapment. Yo, cop, in the house.
Blake.
Yes.
I'm tired of the news.
Okay, I figured.
Damn. I enjoyed it. I thought you did a good one.
No, I enjoyed it, but I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
So it's time to move on.
Get to your stupid next segment.
Okay.
Okay. He's got one segment left.
Justin had a curb moment. What was it? Next.
All right. So right here, I want to tell you about something that happened yesterday, and it was a little embarrassing. So after the 1 to 3 show, we're going by the midday slit for right now. Put your slits up.
How do I do it? What's the hand signal?
Like that.
Like that?
Yeah.
So wrong.
Put the slit up. I was on the way home and said, I'm going to grab me a Diet Coke. I'm a little thirsty before I head home, continue working for the day. So I go by a fast food place around here that has a app where you can just tell them what you want, go in, tell them the number, grab it, you're in and out. So I put the order in, and I go to the window, and to set the scene, there's some kind of construction going on. I don't know if it's a part of the building or if it's for the parking lot or what, but there's a construction crew there, and somebody is jackhammering. So very loud, hard to hear anything. And I get to the window, and they ask me, hey, welcome to whatever. Are you going to use the mobile app? And I say, yes. Okay, what's your code? And I tell them my code is PQ22. And with the jackhammer going on, they can't hear me. Can you say that again? Yeah, it's PQ22. I'm sorry, sir, I can't hear you. One more time. Yeah, PQ22. They still can't hear me. At this point, I'm trying to think in my head about the the military phonetic alphabet. Like, what can I say? Like, I don't remember. Like, I remember the first 5, like Alpha, Beta, Charlie. I was like, I don't remember the ones there. And they say, "Can you repeat that one more time, sir?" And I kind of panicked, and I'm positive I said the words that are not in the phonetic alphabet. Because they go, "One more time, sir," and I, in a panicked voice, go, "Yeah, Panty Queso 22." Like, wait, Panty Queso? And I hear back a little bit of a laugh, and they go, "What?" And I am already committed. I don't want to change what I said.
Of course.
Because I don't want them to get it wrong. And so I have to let out meekly again over the jackhammer going on in the background. Panty Queso 22. And I have no idea why the only P word that came into my mind was panty. And I'm positive they've never heard the word panty uttered over their speaker before. And I could tell she enjoyed it.
But you got your order, right?
I did get my order.
That's all that matters.
And that's what matters. And then I'm like, oh, crap, I'm going to have to pull up. And
did everyone crowd around and kind of peek to see who said Panty Queso?
Said panty. I'm just glad the Q word was queso.
What other Q word would you say to try to, because that is a grown person thing. If you can't understand, to say if you're doing letters, to just say, Charlie, Beta, whatever, to say CB. I probably would have said Paul Quinn.
I was going to say, do you know the actual...
I don't know the military
words.
No.
It's Papa and Quebec, which I'll know now if that's ever my order again. But I don't go there that often. I'm probably not going back to that one.
Why not? You think they'll remember you?
I don't know.
It just felt
weird. It just felt weird.
Queef. Yeah, you should have gone with Queef.
That was the one that I was worried about. I was gonna say, and I'm glad I didn't say panty queef. Because that one
just rolls off the tongue.
That one I probably would have just drove away. Like, yeah, I don't need my DC. I'll head on out. You guys have a good one.
That is two words that are. Why do we always kind of defer to saying actual names when you're trying to get the letters out there? Because you go Charlie, Bill 1355.
I mean, it just makes it easier. I'm not good at it. People ask me that, like, whenever, I'm on the phone with a pharmacy or whatever, and I have to, like, spell my last name or spell the street that I live on, which is really shocking. I'll say I live on the street Syracuse, and you would think people would know how to spell that, but 90% of people have no idea how to spell that word. And I'm just like, I guess I know it just because of
you've lived there forever, and
well, sports
and the orange.
But people have no idea how to say that word.
S
yes.
Y
really
RACUSE.
Yeah.
Syracuse.
Got it.
Is that a good nickname? Orange?
No. I was going to live on Sunny D Drive, but
you can mark
888-787.
We'll need that for later. I know.
So I'm going to probably, like I said, stay away from that one.
No,
for a
go back
while.
today.
Just really lean
The best
into
thing
it.
about it would have been if the jackhammer would have stopped right when you were about to say it at the loudest
And the
last
construction
time.
workers hear me yell, hey. What did he order? Panty queso. Is that new?
And then he gets in line.
Really, I'll go get some.
This sounds great.
So there's only one other place that I no longer go to because of something I did in the drive-thru line, and I don't want to see them again. It's not the guy that I hit at Long John Silver's in a Subaru.
He deserved it.
Were you upset? Was it a mad hit?
Yeah, he got the last hush puppies.
And you hit him with... Oh, I was about to say, my gosh, Justin.
You're telling me the guy got the last one?
Man,
slam it.
And I believed you. What's wrong with me?
How fat am I? You believe I'd get that mad over hush puppies?
I mean...
I'm going on a diet. That was the wake-up call I needed.
I like hush puppies, please.
There's no way you believe that of ham. Maybe ham.
We just sold out of hush puppies. You just hit the gas.
In a year and a half, when he weighs 150 pounds, it's all because of your hush puppies comment.
And I put this guy in the hospital for a year.
He hit the nos.
He's in a body cast
over hush puppies.
No. That was when I got my my gas pedal switched. I got the gas pedal moved to the other side.
They'll flip on you.
And I was feeling real good. What? Why you give me that face?
Oh, okay, never mind.
What do you think I meant? Are you okay?
I'm good.
It doesn't sound like it. What is wrong with you?
Because I was wondering, why would you do that?
Why would you move that?
Because of this guy.
I know. Now I know. That's why it hit me. I'm sorry.
That makes me feel good that you forgot about my horrible monstrosity
I did.
for like
and because
2 minutes.
I don't think about that when I think of you.
Thank you,
Justin. I think about hush puppies.
Now, man,
I don't think
You're telling me they're out?
I was seriously wondering, why on earth would he do that?
It's the hip cool thing, man. You don't get it.
Because I was thinking maybe
I saw it on TikTok.
Maybe I should do the same thing.
Nope.
We could be gas pedal brothers. That's what I was thinking.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, wow.
As
Okay.
a statement, it was a medical necessity.
You made him wheel around and show you. You're horrible.
First the hush puppies, now this. Oh, what a segment this has been.
So it wasn't, hush puppy guy.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
It was when I went to get food with a buddy, and I was a little drinking. I wasn't driving. He was driving. But I did the whole beating thing where I was ordering
across,
like over his lap
You
into
have
the
to
window.
Lean in, yeah.
And the lady that took my order had an accent. I won't tell you which accent. You can guess. And I...
What are you doing with your eyes?
All right.
Stop winking.
Ham?
I'm not Yuli Gurriel. How many times do I have to tell you that?
Look at Ham just hides behind the monitors.
He's so happy. No, she wasn't that.
Ham.
What can I help
He's
you
giving
with?
you the dad look. It's gotta
Someone has to be responsible on this program.
And you're it?
Well, it's not Ham.
Yeah, true.
Continue, Justin. I apologize for Ham.
So the lady with the accent that we can't describe in any kind of physical way was
Okay, we've lost Donovan.
He's about to spit his water everywhere. You got it down?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Boy, the first beat of Chopsticks got him to lose it.
Continue.
She had an accent.
Please. I got it.
I
got it,
decided
yes.
to have some fun.
No, did you mimic?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Justin.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Did you eat that food?
And she picked up on it.
Oh.
Did you guys just continue to drive through?
Now they're dating.
The funniest joke in that is me dating someone.
Monty would love that.
I would do that, yeah.
How did you two guys meet?
Well, it's funny. I went to a drive-thru, but yeah, I mean, the taco was only 99 cents, bro. I knew what I was eating. But I said, you know what? Probably not going to go see her again. And so to this day, I've not been back to that place. Because I could tell she was not happy
How
about
many
it.
years ago? Yeah, she probably shouldn't have been happy about that.
This was a long time ago. I'm a completely different person now.
It was 2 weeks ago.
You should go to see if she's still there. Would it shock you if you got to the drive-thru and you heard the same voice?
The bad thing is I wouldn't trust myself. I'd probably
Do it again? And still eat the food? I'm surprised that you ate that food.
You should never be surprised that I ate some food.
No, I'm not going there. I would think that they do something bad to
she
it.
might have given you
at the
some
time-
special sauce.
At the time, I wasn't worried about that. The comedy was worth it. But I don't need my name up on the wall or a picture of me. And now every time I go, they just destroy my box of mini tacos. So I stay away.
I say let's go as a field trip, as a show
We
trip.
can spend our parlay money there.
She deserves an apology.
She really does.
Let Justin order.
No, because again, I'll try to make you guys laugh, and I'll do it even harder. And I'm trying to get out of the doghouse. In honor of time, we won't talk about when
No. We have plenty of
I
time.
actually have two cuts here.
Go ahead.
No, because I was just going to say there was a time too when
you hush.
I knew
Go, Blake.
Outcast.
Go, Blake.
Do you want to set it up at all? Or do you want to just play
I thought when I was like 17 or 18.
Go, Blake.
Okay. This is Monty's alter ego, Krutchez, on the mic.
Turn my beat. Here we go.
Let's go.
That's how you do it. Here we go.
That's how you do it.
Hit the beat with the jab, the 1-2 combo hits. I chewed it up but didn't spit it out.
You're playing Fight Night.
I'll make the beat bleed. I'll make it scream, please. It's begging for mercy until it needs me. It turn up so loud it makes the alpine scream. And the beat can be hot, but it won't outshine me. Never. It can go toe to toe, killing it slowly, bro. I damage it now. It's out on the over show. I'm focused, yo. My eyes on holding dough, and I'll kill the beat. No casket open, no. See, I'll slash it, strangle it, and everything is dangerous.
It's not bad.
That's awesome, man.
And strangle it.
What did you looking like Anthony Anderson in Hustle and Flow? Getting into it over there.
There's one more.
I'm here to say what I want is mine. Yeah, they think they man enough. I wanna see them standing up. They get a beat down. Well,
welcome to the land of
if you're looking for your homie, just know I shot him. The only nigga like you've ever seen is an eye problem. People always tell me that I'm making night brighter. I like chicks with heavy accents like the highlighter. Oh, people always
Chicks
say,
with heavy
the
accents.
highlighter. You can get the key to my ignition like Piper. See me on the TV, straight ripping dudes. Keep trying to run your mouth, you can get split in two. Call me the boy.
Did you do like the whole Craig Mack thing?
So good.
Man,
they need to play that at Memphis games when the games are over.
If you're looking for your homie, just know I shot him.
And I'll have P1s at like Ticket Stock or something. They'll come up to me like, "Hey, have you seen my homie? Have you seen him?" And I'll tell them, "Yeah, I think I shot him."
Only Glock you've seen is not a problem.
Ticket Stock, man. Let's bring it back.
Yes.
I've rapped with you at Ticket Stock.
No, I want the Krutchez. We need to go back to the
he
original.
died.
Hey, bring
Krutchez actually died of kid cancer. He's gone. Don't worry about
let's
him anymore.
let's play the first one as a return cut coming back.
We
Because
cannot.
That one was like the flow was immaculate.
Pretty good.
They may call you like on Good Morning America, so you can go up there and talk about the 50th birthday of hip hop, like Method Man's doing right now.
And the way you felt about Vanilla Ice representing the hip hop community, everyone would feel the same way about me.
And here
going
he
on
is,
Ellen.
MC Krutchez, and then Justin Gonzalez.
And here is Justin with the NIT-brake.
Thank you very much. Next Friday, we'll bring in the commander of the E-brake proper.
Yes.
George Dunham.
He was
to
out
christen the NIT-brake. Yeah.
Wow.
We wanted to do the first one without him just in case he didn't like it.
Right.
If he's here for the first one, he's like, no, I don't like that idea. It sounds too much. It sounds too much like our segment called the E-brake. So we're just going to go ahead and do it.
But this is totally different.
Radio capitalism.
Totally different.
There's so many good wheels off moments on the ticket that to say there's only 3 that we can play Friday morning, it's the best 3, but there's a lot of other good ones out there.
Full transparency. Sometimes we have issue with the committee. Let's be completely honest.
Sean Bass speaking
Sometimes
right now.
we have issue with the committee, and we wonder why some aren't in the 3.
I think Justin got crossways with George a couple of years ago. We might have to get into that next Friday when he joins us.
Fair.
But
I don't need
I think
him
we're
to
all cool now.
suplex me into the Dunham zone.
I think the committee does a good job.
What a weird reaction from a suplex.
Oh, God. But on the inaugural edition of the very first NIT-brake here on the 1 to 3 show, we have candidate number 1.
Or is this candidate number 4? Because they're...
Well, you have 1 seed in the NIT.
Okay, so this is the 1 seed in the NIT-brake.
The 1 seed in the NIT-brake is Blake Jones, who misremembered a Mavs name.
I don't think we ever thought that he was capable of that. We thought that he was great, and he's matured, and yes, he can lead us, but I don't think we thought he was capable of being the best basketball player for a 2-month stretch.
But it's it's perfect for him, right? He comes in as a rookie, lockout season. He tells a funny story in this press conference of how who was it, Hot Dog Williams, he called him? Was that a guy on the Mavs at the time?
Hot Rod?
Maybe Hot Rod.
I don't think there was anyone nicknamed Hot Dog.
Yeah. God, I wish.
I kind of wish,
awesome.
too. Anyway, they said that...
Hot Dog will. That's a badass nickname.
That's so like
Hot
old
dog.
baseball player sounding. That's like Tungsten Arm O'Neill or whatever that guy's name is.
Was that intentional?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It sounded like he was trying to be pro Blake there.
And he was kind of searching for the name. He probably read Hot Rod, but maybe the ticket has ruined him to saying Hot Dog.
Hot Dog
as the placeholder for everything.
I wonder if
Hot Dog Williams.
I wonder if Hot Dog Williams is on Twitter yet.
Will be soon.
But there is Blake, candidate number 1. Candidate number 2 is a bit of a complimentary one to one you may have heard on the actual e-brake. Of course, Jacob Dedamore, Deddy, the horniest man on Twitter.
Oh, my God. I was a classically trained singer.
Was nominated for not listening during a segment, which who would do that?
I like Junior's excuse for Deddy this morning. He said that Deddy was too horny.
Yeah, he was busy
Still
tweeting.
He was so horny that he couldn't listen.
I mean, spot the lie.
Just tweeting gifs to whatever Latina
Raina.
Twitter. I'm here if you need me. But he had another not listening moment in that exact same show.
Very few, I don't want to say no other countries, but very few other countries decided that it's a great idea to just have animal names for all of our sports teams.
Yeah, like in the Premier League, plenty of clubs have nicknames, but they're kind of unofficial.
That's right.
Like the Toffees or the Red Devils or whatever.
But we don't think it's weird to call
Gunners.
our hockey team the Pittsburgh Penguins. We think that's totally normal, and we should do that. And if you don't do it, you're weird. Detroit Red Wings, things like that. That is weird to most of the world.
Are we the only country on the planet, though, that has animal names for their teams and goofball names? I'm talking about like cricket, rugby, any of it. Are we the only country that does that?
I think Australia has dipped their toe in that water a little bit.
A lot of soccer teams over in EPL and whatnot, they do those kind of nicknames like the unofficial nicknames.
As I just said.
Sorry.
He did make that point, but you're
Yes, as I just said.
But you're right, Jacob. You're right.
Yeah.
But,
Dave was right first, but you're right too.
Dave was right first.
I love defeated Daddy. Yeah.
I think they wanted to lay out, but Dave was just so mad. He's like, okay, guy, really? Second time today?
That was the first time.
That was the first one? Okay.
The second
and then
one's the one that got nominated for the E-brake.
Which was like seconds later.
Has that ever happened to someone twice in one day? Because it's all happened to us before. And usually, if you get fooled once by it, you're definitely on your toes for the rest of the day because you're just kind of embarrassed. You know you're going to be nominated for an E-brake. And you got to make damn sure it doesn't happen again. But to double up one day.
He was only here one day.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think that's the reason why. Maybe he felt like he needed
to get nominated for an E-brake and an NIT-brake in one day is incredible. This is the one that happened
hell of an effort.
5 seconds later.
Hyperbole because we've seen some special dudes.
I think it's Vince, Reggie Bush, Adrian Peterson, and Johnny Manziel, the best 4 college football players I've ever seen.
I can live with that.
Ever.
That's fair.
You don't put Vince Young in there?
He did.
I just
that
said
was the first,
Vince.
Yeah.
As I just said.
Daddy, how did you miss it from 5 seconds ago?
Yeah.
Vince was the first one he said.
Texas.
All right,
Not
it's awesome.
Vince.
It's on Netflix.
That's incredible. You're not
They
going to
jumped on him
What?
immediately.
I did.
Wow.
You serious?
Just crushed him. Poor Daddy.
Gosh. Poor Daddy.
Just trying to get some. Who amongst us?
He's up here somewhere if we want to bring him in.
That's not
Good? Okay.
He'll make his way in here, I'm pretty sure. We also have Donovan up for an NIT-brake as candidate number 3. He had a problem after one little cough.
There is a lot of reasons for crazy optimism out of what you saw yesterday. And I get they're not playing the greatest team in the world. I understand that. They suck. But that is a very good win for this Rangers team. Sweep. Houston lost last night.
Game and a half.
That's awesome.
Lead going into a weekend series with Miami,
Yeah.
who's a good team.
Yes.
Excuse me. I just lost my train of thought. I had my tiny esophagus moment. Like, is that contagious? All of a sudden, I'm coughing and choking over here.
Could be. I don't know.
I'm a sucker for the instant camaraderie.
Wow.
When was that? Was that
Got to be last Friday.
Yeah, because they were at. And that's the thing about being on remote. When you're in studio and you feel a cough coming, we do have a nice cough button that we can just push and our mic cuts off. But when you're on remote and you've got the headset on, you've got to move it up, but you're still gonna. There's no way to get out of it.
No.
So you're just rolling through it.
I've just never seen it completely derail someone's thinking before.
Also, an early observation about Matt McLaren.
Uh-oh.
He will say awesome, outstanding, fantastic. Like he will throw out very like big superlative words.
Yeah,
as setting up a point. Just something to keep an eye on.
All right,
superlative Matt versus superlative Corby
on our bingo card.
Sure,
sure. Candidate number 4. Speaking of Matt McLaren, he had a unfortunate way to phrase this.
And when I get to a point to where I think I'm saying I don't know if I say it a lot. I'm just silent. So I'll just stop to try to gather my thought and then keep going. But I'm pretty sure I say and a lot. And I will, if I feel like I'm not making a point, I will throw out the you know what I'm saying to kind of validate if I'm making sense. If you're looking at me with your head sideways like a dog and I'm trying to make a point, I'll go, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, and I'll see if I can explain myself further.
That's a nice reset.
I say all right often when I'm beginning a conversation.
so to speak.
Weird, but if that's to each his own, you
Everybody
know.
has their bit.
When I'm coming into a conversation. Oh my God.
Ham is on the board, right? Hey, Ham.
Man.
Don't y'all hate it when we do that?
All right. Yes.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
How you guys doing?
All right.
All right.
It's just your first week on the job. Just I'm gonna throw this out there.
I found myself like not using that word because it trips me up. Like when
all right or
no, like coming and going.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to not say that.
I don't think about that one. I try to avoid country because
what do you do when you're
can't
trying to warn your partner?
You can't. You say all right.
There is no warning.
Just tap the head.
It's just a threat.
Get the Coke can.
Stay frosty.
Get the Coke can.
Candidate number 5 in the NIT break is George Dunham. And he, you may have heard, had a hell of a laugh this week.
Never, ever bring this up, but I think in that case, I think you...
Go in the sink?
No, I think you just, after you realize that, you light the house on fire.
Jeez.
Try to cover it up by fire.
That's what a lot of people do.
Well, I mean, it gets put out before anyone gets hurt or like major damages. Kind of burns out the bathroom, you know, so you don't.
Yeah, at that point, that guy just needs to go in the shower and then do the waffle stomp.
Listen to that laugh.
Waffle stomp.
We are now working with Hal J.
Look at him. He's all red-faced.
You've said a lot of things over the years. Oh, my gosh. Look at Okay, girl.
Oh my God!
You are not healthy.
No. Stop.
This is sleep deprivation combined with lung congestion.
That's amazing.
That's it.
That's it.
That laugh cannot be duplicated.
Wow.
That is the most unique laugh I've heard on the ticket.
Okay, listen. This was a very strong first NIT
goodness.
break. Do we even have to vote, though? The waffle
I think we
stomp,
do.
Wheeze laugh combo.
Stomp.
This was a strong week. You want to start out the voting? Sounds like you've got yours out there already.
I feel like Jubb. I mean, he's the captain of the E-break. It only feels right for him to win the first NIT break because we will hear that laugh for years to come.
You have a good point. I really liked Hot Dog Williams. That was a funny moment. And then, of course, the Deddy not listening. Who won the E-break this morning? The big E-break.
Jubb.
It was actually
my
George.
goodness.
He had another one.
Number 99 in his
So
career.
he could double up today. He could win the double crown, as we like to call here.
Yeah, which is why he's not here. He's celebrating the normal E-break.
Yeah, give me George for the double crown on week 1.
Ty?
Waffle stomp, for sure.
Okay.
Ham?
Waffle.
5-0.
We got a
5-0
winner
for the waffle stomp.
George Dunham.
Congratulations. You have won the first ever NIT break here on the ticket.
Where are the standings, Fernando?
George is at 1. He's 1 ahead of everyone else.
Wow.
All right. It's 2:52. This is the ticket.
Once again, the ticket presents Why Today Doesn't Suck.
So, you just played a bad radio Why Today Doesn't Suck open, right? Just a yes or no
main man,
question.
Jake.
You did, right?
No, that was a hang zone open.
Play it again.
It's kind of hard to do. I can find it.
Once again, Bad Radio presents Why Today.
That is a bad radio one. I'm sorry.
And now, here are your hosts.
Pretty fun first week in studio. Sean Bass, David Mino, Justin Montemayor. Let's do it again next week.
Yeah, why not?
A whole week. At 3 o'clock, here's Yam.
Thank you, Mino. Eatsy's Market and Bakery brings you. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Ham.
Thank you, Sean.
We say hello to the Hardline.
Whoa.
Corbally, Robert.
It moves
You're
when my
blowing my
head
mind.
moves.
Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now.
It's a pendulum of audio.
No Dave once
hear me
again.
now? You can hear me now? You can hear me now?
Hi, Monty.
Are his grapes flaring up again?
By the way,
Mine are.
Monty has pulled off the very rare, very rare on everyone's show today.
I mean, Sean did it for like 5 weeks.
Yeah,
but
and I gave him
Monty.
credit. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
He's a real warrior.
Yeah.
No one else could do it.
No.
Thank you, Justin.
He's the ultimate
You have
warrior.
to be in peak physical condition to pull this off, Corby.
That's true. That's true.
We call it the Iron Man.
Yeah, I have the bod for it. Let me know if you want my diet plan.
Thank you for
JM12.
stumping,
I kind of
Monty.
do, honestly.
And congrats on that NIT-brake bit.
Thank you.
Good bit, huh?
Congrats
Pulled it
to
out of nowhere.
George.
Now I can look forward to not being considered for the top 7 bit.
Yeah.
No, you'll always go to the front of the line, L4G, when you have a good e-brake.
Oh, I love you. I love you, Monty. Old Monty.
Old Monty.
Well, today is Friday,
Thank you,
August
Justin.
the 11th, the 223rd day of 2023. 142 days are left. On this date in 1919.
Hey, Daddy.
This sounds like a women's suffrage deal.
The Green Bay Packers Football Club was founded by Jorge Calhoun and Curly Lambeau.
Did you know a Mexican founded the Green Bay Packers?
Wow.
His name might have been George.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Oh, sorry.
My bad.
That was my own ancestry kicking in.
It's so easy for you to just slide in and out of it, you know?
Yeah, I get lost.
Yeah.
So to speak.
In being Latino.
Right.
So to speak.
I need y'all to pull me out.
Yo también.
On this date in 1929, in a game between the Cleveland Guardians and the New York Yankees, Babe Ruth hit his 500th career home run, becoming the first baseball player to reach that milestone. And not a minority was in sight.
God, I do think it would be badass if we could Jurassic Park Babe Ruth with some dino DNA. Not dino, but just get his DNA back and clone him and all that. Just to see, put him in a lab and be like, all right,
Tastes like a
here is the greatest hitter of all time.
I'd like to see a Velociraptor.
Oh, my
Babe
God.
Ruth.
Well, I would too. But let's
T-Rex Babe Ruth.
Let's give him the proper training. Let's give him the proper food, diet.
But he's got
all
tiny arms.
No.
Monty's diet plan.
No. Just to see what
Yeah.
would Babe Ruth. Would he be like Kevin Elster in today's game?
He
or
might
would
be like Kevin from The Office.
Could he make opening day without getting canceled for problematic views?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
all
a
right.
thing.
Babe, you can't call them that. They're actually on the team.
Female reporters would just throw him for a loop.
Yeah.
Who let these broads in the dressing
Out of
room?
here, say.
Why are your bras not pointy anymore?
And he still
Look at those
talks.
gams.
And why does he still talk like that? He was raised as a baby
Look at those
in these
bazoom
times.
That would be a funny movie.
Yeah.
Just current day Babe. The first time he sees a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, his head falls off.
It's current day Babe, but old Babe voice and brain. Current day body Babe. He's all jacked. Like me.
Who's doing that to him?
Not that Jack.
Monty.
Some clucker in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And he's chasing down Jeff Goldblum in the Jeep.
Right.
There has to be part dinosaur involved in our
absolutely.
HBO special.
And Newman.
Must go faster. Must go faster.
All right, on this day, 1964, the Beatles' first feature film, A Hard Day's Night, had its U.S. premiere in New York City. Released during the height of Beatlemania, it is now widely considered a classic.
Have you ever seen a Beatles movie, Monty?
I didn't know there was any.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen a whole Beatles movie. It just wasn't. They looked dumb.
Help was fun.
Yeah, was
On
it?
acid.
I watched it as a kid, so I assumed it was good.
You're usually finished halfway through.
I think they're terrible.
I've seen the porn
So to
version.
speak.
What's that called?
A Hard Gaze Night. It was gay porn.
Okay.
Thank you.
Glad he clarified.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was straight or gay porn, and then he clarified.
Sometimes you just want to change it up.
Sure.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Being bisexual doubles your chances of a date on Saturday night.
On this day, 1972, the last U.S. ground forces withdrew from Vietnam.
Hell yeah. It was time,
So
Monty.
no more cargo short ranges.
It was time. We had done enough damage over there. We had tied enough of the war. It was time to leave.
Did you leave your protest when they came back?
You know what's weird is I definitely remember sports memories from that era, like a lot of it, but I don't remember anything Vietnam-wise. I guess I was not really paying much attention to it.
Yeah, me too.
Crazy. Hey, Sean.
I don't remember much.
All right.
I unremembered
Pardon my cough.
it.
No tokes, bro. No
Focused
tokes.
on the unwar.
I don't remember the war. Make love, bro.
I unremembered it.
Why would they fight in the war?
On this day,
There's
1973,
sports going on.
at a party in the Bronx, New York, DJ Kool Herc introduced the technique of playing the same album on two turntables and extending the drum section. The night is widely recognized as the birth of hip-hop.
His name's John Hart.
What year was that?
1973.
73?
It's 50.
His name's John Hart. He's the Rangers GM. But when
Without
the Rangers
him,
started
we
losing,
would not
he
have
couldn't
had
find him.
This would have
Signed all
blown
these rich
minds
guys. Said
in
just win, man.
1973.
But when they took the field,
How
they
did you
reminded
get
us
this?
of Tin Man.
Like
Heart. No heart.
Like, what if Norm was
Rangers have no heart.
hip-hop royalty?
No
If this was the first
Like
rap
Tupac.
song, do you
He's
think
hip-hop
it would've
Babe
made
Ruth.
it?
Like he's considered in the same vein as like Kurt Cobain.
John, to get an
Norm.
answer.
Grandmaster Flash.
And he ends up getting
Norm.
murdered.
Yeah.
One day his
Gets
underwear
murdered in
will
Vegas.
sell for millions of dollars.
Yeah, Donovan kills him. Because he's black. That was my joke.
Who is?
Oh,
I mean, he's blind.
oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. He was gay.
He's black.
Whoa.
In 1994, MLB Players Association began a labor strike following the games, and the dispute eventually led to the cancellation of the remainder of the year.
10 games under 500 in first place.
Champions.
Texas Rangers.
They would have won it all.
I know. Them were the Expos.
Rangers.
All right, P1 birthdays today. P1 Kelly says, Dear Monty and Why Today Does Not Suck, please wish my dad, Chris, and my brother Jack a happy birthday. Their leader is Gordon.
Oh, good choice.
No drop request, but they like to request one of George's songs for his dog. I don't know what that is.
Or just his laugh again would be good.
Yeah, that'll work.
I think he had specific songs that were for his dogs.
For
that his
Winston
dogs,
Waffles and-
yeah, that they enjoyed.
Did he go skiing with his dog on the weekend?
I don't think so.
Put him up
Wasn't
on...
part of the song.
Now, I
on-
guarantee you those dogs have been in that boat before, though. 100%.
Muttley.
$5.50.
That's right.
What, peanut butter?
A tribute to George's laughs this week at $5.50.
Peanut butter, $5.50.
Friday Fun Jr.
P1 Brent says he'd like to wish a happy 86th birthday to Ray Slick Kelly.
86?
86.
Slit.
Oh.
That's pretty badass.
There's no way any of us are making it to 86.
If you get on the JM12, he might.
Is that Texas Dolly?
Is that like TB12, JM12?
The Manziel
Who's
diet?
the closest in the room? Who's the oldest in
Right
there?
now, me.
Snake.
Yeah, Corby.
I'm
Oh, I
only
got you.
33 years away from being 86.
With the roster turnover, Corby's now the oldest person at the ticket.
Oh my!
No, I'm not.
I'm only 30 years
Old
away.
man Snake.
bro.
Oh,
I'm only 30 years away, bro. So
Yeah, go put a blanket over him.
Corby, will you tell us stories?
Get him a shawl.
Life used
Corby's
to be?
always whittling.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
In a rocker.
Over here, boys.
You're doing the 5 key plays.
I'm going to tell you a story about Chuck Howley.
Give Corby a blanket.
P1 Nick says, "Hey Monty, please wish good P1 Brett a happy birthday. Bud Dwyer is his leader."
One T or two T's?
Sons, one of whom I know very, very well.
Brett with two T's. Please play a TC failed ticker tease.
Well,
don't have any.
I feel like he nailed those quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I'm TCU, and I have some amazing TC. I'm TC. Oh, you know.
I'm TCU.
I'm TCU. And the thing
how
is,
did we not call him TCU after that?
I'm having your Arby's.
Why did we kill the ticker tease? We've had so much good.
Yes.
Come from
Yeah, Sean, why did we?
Mainly
You're in management.
No.
But why?
I changed
Okay,
it.
play that again, because if you did call yourself TCU, he didn't catch it until he said TCU again.
He's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Oh, wait, did I just...
Way to repeat.
There's no way we have the same name.
Whoa! No way!
I'm TCU, and I have some amazing TC. I'm TC. Oh, you know.
Oh, you know.
So much confidence at the beginning.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, he named himself TCU and didn't flinch at all.
Listen to me, I am TCU.
Until he got to the amazing part, and then he realized that he would have to say amazing TC, and he knew that wasn't.
Wait a minute. That can't be.
P1 Laura says, "My dad, Richard, is turning 50. He loves the ticket. His favorite show is the Musers. Bob is his leader.
Yes.
He would like to play the Bobgasm 50 times.
How about twice? That's all we have time for.
There's two for
48 shy.
Well, he needs some recovery time.
Now just rewind it 25 times on the app.
Just keep a loop underneath the whole show. We also have Frankie from down the hall.
Frankie!
Our good friend Sales Frankie says, "Hey, hero of the hardwood, please wish my son Antonio a happy birthday. Corby is his leader.
Hey.
Drop request, Corby bragging."
Oh,
and then
Frankie.
he put Gracias. That's for the two of us.
Yeah,
sleep
that was an
soundly
inside joke between the two of you.
That means thank you, by the way.
Oh. Pound for pound, I maybe have seen 16 Candles more than any other movie.
100%.
The most stressed out I feel that I get in a typical day work week, half of it stems from just being in the car. Why is that bragging? My wife follows Justin Thoreau's Pitbull on Instagram.
New one.
Pound for pound, you watched a movie more than anybody else.
No, that's not it. The movie that I've seen the most myself, not than anyone in the world. What's the movie you've seen more than any other? Star Wars or something?
No, it's tie.
I like when he
Hot Rod.
I like when he starts using fractions. Half the time, there were 20% of the.
The worst part of my work week's when my AC in my car isn't blowing cold enough.
Everything else is perfect.
Yeah.
Star Wars had
my ashtray's full.
an early lead in my life for most views, but Hot Rod and Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre have all made great gains since having
I think
kids.
Step Brothers is at the top now for me.
I wish we could track that somehow.
I always
How many
see
times
Henry
we've watched?
Winkler catching fish.
At the pearly gates, use one of your questions.
Okay.
I'd like to track that too.
You don't want the meaning of life? Or?
No, I want to know what movie I've watched the most.
Could you make an infograph on all the movies I've seen multiple times?
I think it has to be your adult life, because when you're a kid, you have like 2 movies that you just watch over and over.
So that's going to be the one question.
Lion King, Pinocchio.
It'd be the same URL over and over and over.
At the pearly gates, you're going to stand there in front of Jeebus, and he's going to say, I'm going to let you ask one question. Anything you want, I'll answer. In the entire history of the universe, the mysteries
I think I'd
of
ask
it all. And you would ask, what movie have I seen the most?
That'd probably be question 1 or 2. The other one would be, why do men have nipples?
And he'd be like, I don't know, man.
Or the
Man,
meet the parents scene.
That's a good question.
That's a good damn question.
Dad, what do you think?
Here, smoke this.
Birthdays today, Steve Wozniak.
It's legal up here.
73.
Jesus bomb.
Hulk Hogan,
Here comes
70.
again, so to
Steve
speak.
Wozniak was dating Kathy Griffin, I do believe, for
I
a
met
while.
his daughter.
As she was chasing that Apple money.
I thought you were going to say Kathy Bates.
No. Either one, though.
That'd be
Ew.
hot. Actress Viola Davis is 58.
Michael
The Woman
Jordan's
King.
mom in Air.
Amanda Waller.
And Amanda Waller. That's right. Joe Rogan, your favorite, Corby, is 56.
He's awesome.
Yeah. When he was on Fear Factor, he was awesome.
When he was on News Radio.
News Radio,
He
yes.
was awesome.
And any podcast episode where he talks to a Bigfoot expert.
When he used to be human, he was awesome.
Right.
Anna Gunn, Skyler from Breaking Bad, is 55. Shut up.
Has she parlayed at all?
You know,
He's had some roles.
she may be the only one that hasn't.
Well, I
Hank
don't
got his
think-
own gig on CBS.
She was in
What
Sully.
about Flynn? I
She
don't
was
feel
in
like-
Deadwood.
Is Flynn the new Captain America?
Look, that
Here's
was a
the
role
deal.
created specifically for him. He has issues. I don't know if he's going to get another gig.
You
Well, do you think they're going to put him in
typecast?
the Marvel universe?
Yeah. There's always new
gonna-
roles.
They're going to reboot the guy that Marlon Wayans used to do.
He's Polio Boy or something.
The Iron Lung.
He's Paul Z.
Wow.
I want Badger in the Marvel universe.
I think
Badger's been in some commercials.
Yeah. 5. Will Friedle, who Mino, Sean, and Ham, I think, will know. That's Eric from Boy Meets World.
He's never a big P1 of that show.
You know, the one thing I didn't tell Monty
Louder-breaking
about hosting is the timing of it, because he's got to get it all in, as you said.
Chris
by
Hemsworth, Thor, is 40.
the great Chris
They
Hemsworth.
should put him in the Marvel Universe.
He's already in it.
Oh.
He did the goat laughs. Born on this day, now dead. Your mom, dead on this day, still dead. In 2014, Robin Williams.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Where's Coco?
And then Coco found out. In 2013, Jerry Falwell.
Coco could still believe that Robin Williams is alive.
Shut it down! Let's go!
I've not had a milkshake in like 20 years.
Bye, Line 4 guy.
Derek and Step Brothers.
Get the Steak Podcast at patreon.com/sportsgreek.
Thanks, Ham. Flashlight's going. Here's the snake, ladies and gentlemen.
Here he is, the Cobra. Here's Cobra.
Time, you know, time waits for no one. And it won't
Well
wait,
said.
And it won't wait for me. Well, that was very George Bush. And I won't get fooled. Fool me once, fool me.
I won't get fooled again.
Yeah. So, with the success of Bobby, Mattel is doing cartwheels, clearly. And now we're learning that there is a push for multiple toys to be turned into film, which they can't leave well enough alone, right? Like, they just can't.
Right.
And so now this is what they are pushing on us. And you guys tell me if you think there is something there. Warner Brothers is putting together a Hot Wheels movie.
In.
You don't even know anything about it. Is it going to be a cartoon? Is it going to be...
Didn't we do this already? With cars?
Mangino
Bear.
Well, that's the thing. Is this going to be some sort of non-kid related Hot Wheels?
Okay. I guess if they did that with Barbie.
But isn't that like Fast and the Furious?
Or Gran Turismo?
Well, it's funny you mention that because I believe that not only are they doing a Hot Wheels movie, which J.J. Abrams is supposed to be involved in it in somehow.
I hope that guy starts catching a break here and there.
Really.
But you mentioned Fast and the Furious. The star Vin Diesel is attached to one of the Mattel spin-off movies, and that is a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie.
I don't know about that.
And I'm not even joking.
It sucked as a toy. Why would I want to watch a movie about it?
Wasn't that basically Real Steel with Hugh Jackman a while ago?
Yeah, but that was... They put robots in the ring, right?
Who you guys talked to at
the Super Bowl about that with Sugar Ray Leonard.
He and Sugar Ray were there.
Right. We had Sugar Ray Leonard on the air, and it was like talking to like a can of corn. he had been hit so many times that things weren't going well.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
With what?
I just don't want to think about Sugar Ray not
I know, right?
being great.
I know.
Being equated to a can of corn.
So Vin Diesel attached to Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Skydance, the film company, has a... So you have Hot Wheels. You also have a Matchbox Cars. But what's the difference? Matchbox Cars, do they run on a track like Hot Wheels? Or are they just like cars that you put in like your little collector boxes and stuff like that, and you get them out and have them ram each other?
As a young lad who dabbled in this sort of thing, I'm not positive I could tell you which ones were Hot Wheels and which ones were Matchbox Cars. I think I use those terms somewhat interchangeably. Now, this could be a DC and Marvel thing in the comic book game.
Yeah, I'm a Matchbox guy.
So, also over at Mattel, Lena Dunham, she from Girls and something else, I can't remember what else, she is directing a movie about the Mattel toy Polly Pocket. Now, Ty, I look to you for this since you have a girl that's smaller. Polly Pocket, it looks like it's a set of little tiny girl dolls, and it says Polly Pocket.
Thank you for saying girl dolls. We weren't sure.
Yeah. Polly Pocket, Tiny Worlds, Big Surprises.
Yeah, as I'm looking at a picture here, it looks, I think I've seen something floating around in my kid's room that equates to that. Polly Pocket. I guess.
And then
I think, is it conceivable Maddie was in the Polly Pockets game? Yeah, for sure. I've seen these.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know how old they were.
Yeah, it sounds like they've been pumping these out since like 89.
Oh, all right. So do you think if you texted her right now and you said, hey, do you remember Polly Pocket, she would know?
There's a 100% chance.
Really?
Let's do our experiment while you're e-newsing.
Okay, and also they're developing, I didn't even know this was a Mattel thing, a potential Wishbone movie. I thought Wishbone was a dog that was created
the offense?
Here.
That was KERA. I mean, it's PBS.
Did Mattel own that, or did they buy it? Is Wishbone
dead?
National? Is it a national thing?
Oh, yeah, it was PBS National.
Okay,
I
didn't know if it was like a Mr. Peppermint type thing.
What about the Veer?
The dog's dead.
We're not talking
Wait, the
about
dog's like
offenses.
50.
A pistol.
What about the Delaware Wing T?
All right, I'm done talking college offenses with you in the middle of my Mattel story.
Bob Stern.
All right. So, yeah.
And weird movie to target to kids about the Wishbone offense.
Right now, the fullback dive can really be...
Kids, I want you to meet Billy Sims. Comes with full afro.
Now, if they're not watching the A-gap, that's what you do. You just give to the fullback, and that's it.
Polly Pocket. Never heard of it.
Yeah, Wishbone was created here. It was filmed in Plano and Grapevine.
Does it say anything about developed by Mattel or bought by Mattel? And
no.
Maybe it's a different Wishbone. I don't know. But it says Wishbone. We have history in the making when it comes to music. And it involves one Morgan Wallen, whose song Last Night has now been on the Billboard charts at number 1 for 16 weeks. 16 weeks. It's the second longest run atop the Hot 100. It ties Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men's song One Sweet Day, which was in 95 and 96. I wouldn't know it if it hit me in the face. And then the Daddy Yankee Louis Fonzi song Despacito, which came out 6 years ago. Yeah. And after that, only one song stands between it and the all-time Hot 100 number 1 supremacy, and that is Lil Nas X's Old Town Road, featuring Billy Ray Cyrus, which went on to hold the top of the charts for 19 weeks. So it sounds like that this, and to me, like Old Town Road and Despacito, And maybe all songs that are that popular seem that way to me. They seem like they're bit songs.
Sure.
Right? They're not like songs. They're out there as a bit almost.
Like Gangnam Style.
Yes.
Or
right.
The Streak. Remember that from the 70s? Go on.
You're not too far off. That's kind of what I think of these songs.
Like
not
the
that somebody...
Harlem Shake.
What's that?
Wasn't that one?
Harlem Shuffle.
Oh, yeah, that was big for a hot minute.
You know the Harlem Shake.
Harlem Shuffle is a Rolling Stones album.
Harlem Shake.
What's the...
I don't know what that is.
That was the one where they would get groups of people to dance during the song, and it was big on...
I forget. I can't do it. Just roll it. Roll the Harlem Shake. The kids would make videos with this all day long.
I'm sure I know it, but I don't know it. So yeah, he is right on the cusp of becoming number 2. If
this one.
Oh yeah.
Why are you shaking?
I'm not.
Why are you getting into character?
Look at him. Perfectly calm.
Here, it's about to drop.
Getting powered up.
Is this the SNL bit that they did making fun of the drops?
SNL didn't make it up.
Oh, that's a different one.
It is. You know what I'm talking about,
yes,
though.
Yes, Andy Samberg's the DJ.
Yes, where the kids at the club are all waiting for the actual drop, you know, and it goes on forever and ever and ever.
Great bit.
Until their heads all explode.
That's right. A wonderful bit.
Yeah, so our dear friend Morgan Wallen is on the cusp of history. Last week, it tied Harry Styles, Big Harry Styles.
Big Harry Styles.
Yes, as the longest leading number 1 of the 2020s. So it looks like Morgan Wallen he was really hurt by dropping the N-bomb on tape. Really affected his career. It's almost like it helped it, Bob.
I don't want to believe that.
Have you seen any of you guys seen the Apple TV Plus series Hijack with Idris Elba?
Heard it's good.
I've definitely thought about it.
Man.
I'm recording it as we speak.
You don't need to record it, Ty, because it's actually, you just hit a button.
Okay.
Yeah, and it pops up. There's no recording needed.
All right.
You don't have to stand there with your phone and record it.
Right. So it just wrapped up, I think last week was the last episode, 7-8 episodes, something like that. Man, I cannot recommend this highly enough. There's a couple of hokey moments in it, but Idris Elba is such a great actor. And who would have ever thought that when The Wire came out that guy would be he was so feared. He was such a character that you're like, oh, God, man.
Hey, what up, Bird?
That guy
was not him.
Such a badass. And then we would find out years later that not only was he not from Baltimore, but he was from the west side of London. Hello! And he was one of the most respected actors going. And that he would go on to have this career that would completely take him away from what we all thought would be where he would be stereotyped for 50 years.
Friend of the ticket.
And he got out of it instantly. Was he on y'all's show?
Oh, yeah. We probably got a wacky radio liner from old Stringer Bell.
Did you know before he came on the air, and I think I've asked you this and I can't remember, that he was British?
I think so. Because I was pretty obsessed with his favorite football club, which now, as obsessed as I was, I believe it was West Ham, but maybe it's Arsenal. I don't remember anymore, but he was great. And then, then he went on to be Luther. Have you sampled Luther at all?
No, I hear it's great.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. He's believe it or not, a detective who doesn't always do what he's told in London.
You're damn right.
He's always dealing with crazy killers. Meanwhile, the bosses are on his case like Vic Mackey, you know?
Yeah.
Not that killer.
Hijack, awesome. I think Righteous Gemstones is so freaking funny. Are you finished with this season?
Oh, yeah.
I've got 2 more left.
So great.
Dude, I heard them talking about this morning, too. The character Keith.
Oh, Keith.
I mean, it's just the epitome of comedy, right? Like, he reeks of comedy now. I love that actor. He's in a couple of commercials. I would love to get that guy on. I'm sure he's not as weird as his character, Keith,
so weird.
A former Satan worshiper turned God nut.
Now he's part of the smut squad.
He is. Yeah, Bob, they're so disgusted by the smut across America that they're going and buying up all the dills and adult bookstore like trinkets that you can,
And then
burning them,
and like Keith is like getting overcome by the poisonous fumes because they're burning all the dills,
and he can't get rid of the tattoo on his arm. He's tried to scrub it off, but it just says "Hail Satan" really big, and so he's doing all the Lord's work, but he's got the "Hail Satan" tattoo. It's such a good show. And then Reservation Dogs came back too, and I'm all caught up on that.
You're really dedicating a big part of your August to watching TV.
That's what August is for, especially.
Well, I thought it was for Ranger games.
Well, that's it from the 10 p.m. to midnight time slot. Man,
you're filling it with television.
I am cramming it all in.
Have you watched What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes,
the new season.
Yes, I'm caught up on that too. Yeah. It's all
It seems like if I would stop writing, I would have more time for TV.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I need to think about that.
What are you doing? That's more fun.
Start writing about TV, then you have to watch TV.
Yeah, you can be the new Alan Sepinwall.
Good point.
All right, well, it's time for the concert calendar. And for the first time So I've been on this program, this time slot, for 24 years. Which sounds like a very humble brag right there.
It did, yeah.
I don't think I've ever done this. Dude, I'm serious. I don't remember ever hosting this. Yeah. Mike did it. When he was gone, Danny would do it, I feel like.
I've heard bad reviews.
Davey does it now, and so...
Think you can handle it?
Yeah, you scared?
I'm not going to lie. Last night, I worked on it very hard.
Good.
Yes. Yeah, so I was kind of nervous. I'm like...
It's not going to give you shingles, is it?
I need to get this done before tomorrow because I think I would be really nervous putting it together tomorrow. All right, tonight, Friday, at Dos Equis Pavilion, we bring you the legend that is Foreigner. So I don't know what you guys think of Foreigner. I am kind of... You can pull this up here, Hamster. I'm kind of torn on them in general because...
Hit play, Corby.
I did.
Hit unmute.
I didn't?
No.
Oh, no.
Hot-blooded, check it and see.
Tell me this. I'm hearing Foreigner now.
Dude.
Did all this work?
Let's just send Ike a text right now.
Okay, here's what you got to get done. And you got a full weekend ahead of you. It's time for you to get a Spotify family plan.
We do have one. I feel like there's two separate ones that my wife has, and somehow he ended up on mine.
You need some scene control, bro.
Anyway.
Does he know what you do for a living?
Do you think if he did know that he cares? No.
Well, Lou Graham's not in Foreigner anymore, so is it really Foreigner?
That's what I can't figure out.
I mean, Mick Jones is still in it, but he was just a guitarist, right?
Like, this song was such a big hit. This song was such a big hit.
Big at the skate rink.
Did this predate you?
Jukebox Hero, definitely not, because I remember that in the layup lines was pretty fun.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. They completely lost me whenever they started doing ballads.
Oh.
Time for a couple skate.
And this reeks of late 80s schlock. And the production sounds so 80s. Yeah. I don't know if I can support this at all. Go at your own risk to Foreigner. Also tonight at the Granada, Monty Montgomery.
Monty?
Yeah.
That is a big-time Gordo band. So much so that he crafted his own cover band after Monty Montgomery. So like before Jub Jam, he would get out there and sing Monty Montgomery songs. That's how big a fan of Monty that Gordo is.
Wow.
Also,
I think we're all big fans of Monty.
We are, yes. Also tonight at Stereo Live in Dallas, something called Sick Ick. Sick ick. Don't really know what it is. And then for our very first P1 band of the week, Davey can adopt this if he would like.
Okay.
He may not. But I'm going to support one P1 band this week. And it is their EP release. It's a band called Goodwin. And it is at the Ruins in Deep Ellum.
Okay.
And that is from P1 Daniel. Other than that, you're on your own.
Is this a new thing?
I'm going to let
one time only.
I don't know. I did it in mine.
So you're going to them tonight?
I'll let Dave. I am not.
Oh.
No.
So you're...
Oh, so you think that if I mentioned the band that I need to go?
Yeah.
This is your way to get free tickets.
No. Tomorrow night.
Sorry, good one.
August the 12th. This is, I believe, also at Dos Equis Pavilion. And this is a band I know absolutely nothing about. Ladies and gentlemen, Mudvayne.
Early 2000s, this was big.
Was this Butcher Babies, too?
No. They're at the show, but this is not...
With special guest, Butcher Baby.
What are they? Just Gennaro metal? Speed metal?
Industrial metal? I don't know.
Yeah. So these dudes are in their mid-40s now, probably?
Probably, yeah.
I feel like you reach a certain age with this stuff that... Does it really resonate?
I want to make you go to this show.
Well, I would go because I have been fascinated by Butcher Babies on the promos that the ticket commercials have been running. And you pulled Butcher Babies, right?
Yeah, we can't get it out of our head in here. And Baldy.
I want to hear Butcher Babies.
It's terrible. Enjoy.
What's that? We all stand in fluid motion, so spun out. Keep it cocked to the left. I bend and snap and take it sweetly up. Cause I'm gonna start my night with a Molotov cocktail. Get back to my head. I wanna be taken out of what you said.
They have two female singers. One does clean vocal, the other one screams.
And has a flamethrower.
A real flamethrower?
I'm really enjoying the Molotov cocktail.
All right, play the very beginning of this. Does it not sound like the Galleons
commercial?
It does. Listen closely.
This is in a loop in my head for the last 24 hours.
Okay, play the beginning of the song.
What's that?
I got a gift from Galleons.
Oh, yeah. Galleons.
Galleons? Oh, yeah, it's from Galleons. Oh, yeah, it's Galleons. I got a gift from Galleons.
Then it takes a real turn. Beavis.
Tomorrow night at Billy Bob's.
This rocks. It rocks.
John Waite. And you talk about acts that I thought were stupid in the 80s. Happy birthday to you and welcome to town, John, but...
I'd rather see Rick Waits.
Oh.
Who's Rick Waits?
Indians pitcher.
Bringing it back to sports.
Was this not a beating for y'all?
Yeah, I'm not really feeling this, but...
You don't remember this from the 80s? This was a huge hit.
Well, maybe when we get to the hook here, maybe I'll recognize it.
Yeah, this killed in 9th grade.
About 84?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I get to this.
Get to this. We're later involved.
Wait, Rick Waite's Texas Ranger.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, this sucks.
Rangers. Away. I miss you. No matter.
Sunday, August the 13th, we welcome in our dear, dear friend to the Dos Equis Pavilion, Trombone Shorty.
Going!
Or Toyota Music Factory, I'm sorry. Not. Are you going?
Yeah.
Really?
Taking the whole gang.
Really?
Yeah.
So we just saw him in California.
This will be a hotter version. Stop playing Killer in the background. This isn't about you, Ham.
Ziggy Marley opening up again. Did you see if Mavis Staples is going to be there too?
Yes, she is.
Damn.
I think the set would be better with Killer in it.
Okay, and that's fair. And it's probably right.
I mean, I like it as it is, but...
No, with special guest Killer on the tuba would be fun.
Just a little sizzle.
So Trombone Shorty at Toyota Music Factory, and then at Dos Equis Pavilion on the same night, a big competitor you will find...
The Offspring.
The Offspring. Ham, where do you stand on The Offspring?
Not too...
You don't have to just let me go.
Yeah, but then I don't have a drop if I talk over it.
Right.
Not too big on their catalog, so...
Not even this hit?
Oh, yeah, I know this one, yeah.
Yeah, they're a suck fest.
Welcome to town.
And Sunday at Will Rogers, you will find...
Oh, dude, it was just starting to build.
Daryl Hall. Not Oates.
Just Hall. Huh?
Just Hall.
What?
Yes.
You can rely on the old man's money.
I got no issues with them.
Bitch.
Not a bitch girl, a rich girl.
They were good in concert.
Did they beat
but
you,
Oates was
Bob?
there.
Just part of like 80s soft
Yeah.
schlock.
You know what? I'm
song's
okay.
a banger.
Yeah, this one's pretty tough to beat.
So they're at Will Rogers. Let's skip to Tuesday, the 15th.
Because you don't go out on Mondays.
I do not do Monday. Well, that was Sunday. We skipped Monday.
I know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Nobody needs to do anything on Monday.
You're
Avoid
like country
doing
clubs.
anything.
You're closed on Monday.
I am. I'm shut down. Tuesday at Dos Equis Pavilion, you will find... The Smashing Pumpkins.
What day?
Tuesday.
They got somebody good on the undercard, too, don't they?
Do they? I didn't even see. I just saw them. It just said Smashing Pumpkins.
You know, Billy Corgan owns the National Wrestling Alliance.
What does that mean?
The NWA. He owns a wrestling outfit.
There was a time if the Pumpkins were rolling through town, I'm
That's
1,000,000% in.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen them live.
It was cool in the 90s.
You got Interpol and Rival Sons.
Yeah, Interpol's with them.
Oh, Interpol?
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, they're kind of fun.
I'd love to hear The World is a Vampire. This is a great album.
Siamese Dream.
Cherub Rock.
Yeah. The song Cherub Rock. The album Siamese Dream, though, is still top 5 in the 90s for me.
I'm with you.
Absolutely top to bottom, incredible.
Boy, this just screams to me that we have to go back to college in like 2 months. This is summer of 91, maybe? Or summer of 92?
Such lazy vocal work, though.
It is. Very processed, too. Wednesday, on the 16th, it's the Hold My Beer Tour featuring George. This is why George took off today to get ready for next Wednesday.
It sounds like Americana to me.
Or the Deadwood theme.
Randy Rogers. I'll give Georgie this. This song's a slapper.
All the leaves have turned to rust, and the air's getting thin.
Slapper to the nuts.
I can see my breath.
Get him. Get him, Ham.
The sky's gray.
And Thursday at the Reconsider Lounge. Now remember, next Friday, we're going to have a big discussion. Matter of fact, we'll probably have multiple segments next Friday because Metallica's coming to town. And I think that's one of 2 nights they're playing here, Ham, I do believe.
Yes.
At AT&T.
One of them was with Pantera.
Yeah. So we'll have discussions. But in the meantime, whet your appetite at the Reconsider Lounge on Thursday with a Metallica tribute band featuring Kermit as lead singer, Miss Piggy on guitar, and Animal on drums, Master of Muppets.
In!
And a Metallica tribute band featuring the entire band, but featuring Matt Birmingham dressed as Batman on drums, Geek and Destroy.
I love it all.
Okay, all right, we're doing good, right?
Don't know what Lars is going to do,
We're
but
doing good.
Ham's here.
All
Beat
right.
a metal trash can.
There is the concert calendar at 6:52 on the ticket.